Smoking some of the best dope God ever put breath in.
sexual anarchy.
This is the Control Live with JustinFREAKIN.
Yay! Everyone celebrate holiday getting their streak back up from one. Light one up, tip one back. It's time to celebrate. Smoky looking devious back there. We are going to watch the Minnesota GOP gubernatorial primary debate, which features anti-racist activist Kendall Qualls. That is the front runner for the GOP nomination for governor. He is an anti-racist activist. He's also a black man. He's an anti-racist activist. So that means he is a pro-racist activist. The second in polling is Minnesota House Speaker Lisa DeMuth. Coming in third, we have crackhead and MyPillow CEO Mike Lindell. And there's like 12 other people. So it is bound to be a wild event. It started like an hour ago. It's still going on right now. We're going to take it from the beginning, because I'm sure it's going to be fucking insane. So we have an anti-racist activist. We have I think the Lisa DeMuth is the one that fed the information to Nick Shirley that got the whole Somali daycare bullshit going. And then we have crackhead Mike Lindell. So this is bound to be a train wreck. And those are just the three top the top candidates. There's like a whole underclass of crazy ass Republicans that are going to be on the. One dude has a face tattoo on the Republican side. So now this isn't an official like a news station is not hosting this. It is the Scott County GOP is hosting it. And the only place I could find it was on Alpha News. I didn't even know it was going on. This is a pretty minor event. But some of the biggest names in the GOP race for governor here at the Scott County GOP meeting. They're holding a debate on the GOP primary side.
Bill is a doctor who practices chiropractic medicine.
For Minnesota governor.
His first term as senator representing parts of Rice, Goodhue, Dakota, and Scott County.
This is Lisa DeMuth right here. She's the one that came in second in polling. She is the Minnesota State House Speaker, and she can be my GOP mommy.
Hi, everyone, and again, welcome to 2026 Scott County GOP Governor Debate. My name is Bill Iskey, and I will be your moderator for the evening. And I'm going to go over a few things with you. First off, though, I would like to welcome all of our candidates. Go ahead and give them a round of applause for appearing. As someone who has run for office, I know the commitment it takes. On behalf of the Scott County GOP and Republicans throughout the area, we appreciate you stepping up to run. The Scott County GOP wanted to provide a platform for each of you to showcase your campaigns for consideration by prospective Republican caucus goers, delegates, and the public at large. The Scott County GOP's goal is to ask questions that allow you to have the space to talk about your position.
Cakes, Holiday, welcome in.
We'd also like to welcome our live audience and appreciate you being engaged, as well as those that are online watching. Our live audience should have received a straw poll ballot upon entering and registration. This will be turned in at the end of the debate towards the exits here as the ushers will collect them. Throughout the event, we will also be passing around a hat for donations. These events are not free. They do cost money, and we do like to spend the money on our candidates to get elected.
You're the goddamn GOP.
It's got a bunch of American flags out there. Somebody's holding up right now. It helps a lot because it covers the costs of signs, the costs of door knocking materials, things like that, and we would like to help people get elected. So let's get down to the rules. We will be posting the straw poll results as soon as possible. They will be counted quickly, and hopefully they'll be posted online as well.
So we should have that by the time that we get to the end of this, because we're about an hour behind.
Please hold applause until after the candidate is done speaking.
So once this wraps up, we should know
Will be
what the results of the straw
from the
poll are.
auditorium at the discretion of the Scott County GOP. This will be approximately a 105-minute debate. That is why we have 11 candidates. It will take a while. The Scott County GOP developed questions that were top of mind for most of the Republicans within the area. We will ask
I wonder what kind of questions they're going to ask.
second questions and yes or no,
Oh,
with a total of 12 currently as the plan. Candidates have been placed in a randomized order. They were drawn from a hat, so none of you feel slighted, hopefully, that you all were just drawn randomly. With that being said, we will start from my right, audience left, and work our way across, each person starting on a different question as we go. With that being said, the Republican Minnesota governor candidates here tonight from my left to right are, from the audience left to right is MyPillow CEO Mike Lindell, former St. Cloud City Council member.
seeing the scene in Minneapolis from
retired
earlier.
Intelligence Officer Phil Parrish.
I think
State Rep,
this might be last night that you're seeing.
Frontline activist Republican Raul Estrada, House Speaker Lisa Damath, former
Damath.
fighter Brad Kohler,
I called her Demuth.
Attorney Chris Mattel, Army veteran and former business executive Kendall Qualls, Good Sense Foods CEO Patrick Knight, and Dr. Scott Jensen. Now on to the questions. All right. Mr. Lindell, we will be starting with you on question
Jensen, you say?
This will be a 60-second question. What makes you different as a candidate from the other candidates on the debate stage tonight?
I've been CEO and built massive companies, and when I am building them, I need a businessman as what we see like our great president, to be able to section up and do everything. They asked me the other night, what would you do? What'd be the first thing you do? Well, besides bring back the Minnesota flag and ban Sharia law, I would deal with every single problem.
Ban Sharia law.
Also proven myself over the last 5 years.
Because that's such an issue.
Attack company in history, and we'd be able to get through, and to be able to get through that, we're still standing, I'm still standing, and if you vote for me, I'm going to stand for you, and I will never give up.
I'm still standing.
Did you need me to repeat the question?
Sure, go ahead.
All right. The question is, what makes you different as a candidate from the other candidates on the debate stage tonight?
What makes me different is I served on the St. Cloud City Council from 2010 to 2018, and I have what I call,
Noisy
frontline
immigrant.
special ops experience in terms of.
Welcome in, Raiders. I am JustinFREAKIN. This is the Troll Patrol Live. We are currently watching the Minnesota GOP gubernatorial primary debate. It's still going on right now, or they might have just wrapped up, or they're getting ready to wrap up. We are watching it from the beginning. You're right at the beginning of it. Mike Lindell is number 3 in polling. The lead candidate is a man by the name of Kendall Qualls. I'm not sure if he's there. I haven't seen him yet. He is an anti-racist activist. Second in polling is House Speaker Lisa Demuth. She's on the end. And then you've got a third Mike Pillow guy.
Being a political.
Then a whole bunch of other chuckle
I was
fucks.
the sole city council member in 2017 that put forward the refugee resettlement moratorium. What was going on in St. Cloud? We were having all these refugees placed in St. Cloud, which is a.
That's what I said, so he's a
And
racist.
the taxpayers were getting very upset because we were seeing the county budget go in the red. We were seeing it.
He's also a black guy, so, you know.
Things were going on. And I was the guy that put forward that moratorium. It was extremely controversial. I didn't have any support or anyone that called from the legislatures to talk about this issue. And we can see this issue has not gone away. It's very much here today. And good folks like A.J. Kearney might have seen her. She's actually calling Ilhan Omar's residency into question. She's done a great job. Liz Collins actually interviewed her.
So she's racist.
Almost out of time, but thanks so much for being here. Thank you, Scott County. Appreciate you.
Okay, that is a live shot from Mercado Media down in the bottom right-hand corner.
Hi, I'm Philip Parrish, and I'm running for governor.
What is going on the street?
ARRISH, the number 4, MN.
Sleepy Evie, welcome in, friend. Matt, good evening.
The big differences between me and the rest of the candidates, you'll see more depth and more reasons why on the website and in the pamphlet. I am the only candidate that can look you in the eye and tell you that I've been telling you about the...
By more depth, he just means his nose sticks out further.
For almost 10 years now. I was one of the original whistleblowers in 2018.
I can say that. I got a giant-ass nose.
Successful, but had death threats and all kinds of craziness, even treated very poorly by some of our Republican colleagues. Those days have passed. Fast forward, I am the only candidate who is promising to unite two of the teams, bring it together. All the people up here are worthy of being in office and being in the administration, and I'm the only candidate that's making that active promise to make sure we all come together.
Ms. Bennett.
Hi, I'm Peggy Bennett. Great to be with you all.
Hi, Peggy.
I am a person of solutions. I'm a fixer. For 33 years, I taught elementary school, mostly first grade.
You look like you could fix me some ovens, ma'am.
I have problems and issues with my students.
Grandmother making me some cookies.
Problem with a parent sometimes, and find solutions and fix those problems. So I'm ready to bring those solutions to the
It sounds a little sexist, looking like get back in the kitchen.
As I said, I
Cancel
have
Justin.
notes. I'm a listener.
I'm sorry.
I'm a researcher. I would love to be able to bring my solutions to you and to the people of Minnesota. So I'm going to tell you my webpage is PeggyBennettForGovernor.com. I would ask you to go there. I actually have my whole solutions portion of that webpage listed here. I have solutions for every area that I want you to know who I am and what I will do as governor, because I'm here to fix things and I want to get things done. So thank you.
I don't like the way those agents are looking.
I'm probably the most unconventional person you'll see up here, probably in this race ever. I don't take things, from a very stereotypical standpoint. I've been involved in politics for well over 40 years, but most importantly on the front lines. Not in the office, not in legislation, but boots on the ground, taking care of all the problems that...
Front lines of what? The goddamn SS?
Whether it's pushing back at Antifa groups, BLM, dealing with the dirty underbelly that has kind of infested our state. We see it all over. It's one of those things where you can't have a weak stomach for, but we look at the landscape and the playing field today, and it's one of those things where we know that we have to hit things from a radical perspective now. I would give you my email address, but my daughter gave me this because she says only old guys carry cards anymore, so.
What?
Good evening. It's good to be with you. The thing that sets me apart from the other quality candidate choices here is the work that I have done specifically in the House of Representatives.
This is Lisa DeMuth.
As leader of the House Republican Caucus in the 2024 election, I broke the DFL full trifecta, full control of our state government by bringing a tie into the House of Representatives. As I negotiated through this year with Governor Walz and the other Democrats, I am the only one that helped end the taxpayer-funded health insurance for illegal immigrants here in the state of Minnesota, something that I was told could not be done with just a tie, but we did that. And I am the one that has stood and protected our Second Amendment rights here in the state of Minnesota. The governor has called me out as being the only one that is blocking a vote on gun control, and I said, yes, I am that vote. I will continue to protect our Second Amendment rights, get this budget under control, and put Minnesota back in the strong place that it desperately needs to be.
So she's polling in second.
Thank you. My name is Brad Kohler. I'm a former UFC fighter. I got into this 5 years ago when I saw a problem, so it was either come out of retirement and fight Tim Walz or run for governor. I ran for Senate, Congress and County Commission to learn my way around government here in Minnesota and how to fix it. Not just that, but the Republican Party that needs to unite. I'm against taxes. I think we can do better. I think we're over budgeted. And I'm against boys and women's sports. As a matter of fact, I have 2 beautiful daughters. And if there was a trans that followed them into the bathroom,
what?
Help them become a woman immediately. Without insurance. Thank you.
What?
Good evening. My name's Chris Maddle. I'm one of the main reasons I'm running.
I think he just implied that he castrated somebody in a public bathroom.
20 years, and we keep doing the same thing over and over and over again and losing. I'm a fighter. Whether or not it comes to winning on
No, the dude next to you was in the UFC.
I've represented people that have not necessarily been popular at the time and won. Ryan Londrigan, Trooper, Liz Collin, Alpha News.
Though it looks like the only people that he's been fighting is like the only thing he's been fighting is his cholesterol.
That again
I fucked up my setup. I'm sorry.
Now, if you're looking for the establishment candidate, find somebody else. If you're looking for a perennial candidate that runs year after year, that's somebody else too. I don't think that I'm a politician, nor do I want to be
He's taking a shot at Kendall Qualls, and I think that's the dude sitting to his left.
That general election. I'd love to have your support. Thank you.
I think this is the front runner.
Thank you for being here, and you guys look great.
Yeah, this is the anti-racist racist.
It's important for us as Republicans. We can't move forward in this state unless we are united. A house divided can't stand. And that's why I'm abiding by the endorsement process, just like I did before. We have to be united before that time or after May. If we go in any further, we're going to be divided going against a Democrat machine that can get anybody elected. Look, we have Ilhan Omar. If they can get her elected, they can get anyone elected. We're not running against a candidate, whoever that is. We're running against the machine. And so it is for what I'm running for is not only the seat for the governor. I want to help us win our first.
Ilhan is amazing. You're a dumb fuck, dude.
The Democrats have a one-seat advantage in the Senate. We're tied in the House. We can do this if we're united. That makes me different, and I want to help save our state.
You take your 33 and a third chance minus my 25% chance.
Well, good evening, and thanks for having us. Thanks, Bill, and thanks, Jeff, and thanks for all of you showing up tonight. My name is Patrick Knight. I'm running because, like many of you, I was taught if something isn't working, step up, raise your hand, and doing something about it. And our state is not working. I am a Marine, 20 years active duty in reserves. Initially as a prosecutor, switched to infantry. I was a platoon commander, company commander, deployed to the Middle East, and retired as a lieutenant colonel. I'm a business guy. I spent 20 years in manufacturing. Most recently, I resigned in order to run as CEO of a 110-person food manufacturing company. I learned how to set goals, develop strategies, and hold people accountable and deliver results. But most importantly, I'm a coach. I played sports growing up, and I've coached all 4 of our kids in youth sports, primarily hockey and baseball, and I know how important the fundamentals are. In St. Paul, we need leadership, we need competence.
I'm not high enough for this shit.
Thank you.
I fought against lockdowns. I fought against locking nursing home patients into facilities that were infested with active virus. I fought against the lonely deaths that they died. I fought against mandatory vaccines, despite the fact that I spend more than $100,000 a year purchasing vaccines for my patients. My patients always have a choice. I fought for bodily autonomy. I fought against trying to hold a 2-year-old down so that you could mask them. I fought for common sense. I called Tim Walz out when he said that 80% of kids in Minnesota had only missed 10 days of school.
Davey Willie Tommy Boy, thank you for being a freaking follower.
I don't need to tell you what it cost
me. Minnesota Gubernatorial
times I was investigated.
GOP primary debate.
I almost lost my license. I'm grateful I didn't. But clearly, I am the only person on this stage that when he was on Charlie Kirk's show, Charlie Kirk demanded of me to explain how in the hell did the Vikings never win a Super Bowl?
You live in sexual anarchy.
Thank you. We're on to question number 2.
Old Charlie boy.
Second question. It'll be starting with Mr. Johnson. Here's the first question, or here's the second question. What one
Mr. Johnson's down here, sir.
Political style, and how have you tried to live up to their example?
I have to say that Ronald Reagan, not only was he a great orator, but
Are you saying I should start broadcasting vertical? Because that's a thing I can do now.
in California.
I can do both.
I think of all the presidents I've seen.
Anybody in the chat have thoughts on broadcasting vertical or horizontal?
And, I enjoyed those gentlemen. But Reagan seemed to have that magic about him. And he just really seemed to love America. He wanted the best for America. And he always presented himself as a true diplomat. I've never seen him, particularly argumentative or adversarial, like kind of like we see today. And I just had a profound effect by him. What got me into politics actually was just a face-to-face meeting with George Herbert Walker Bush in Kenneport, Maine.
OHW.
Kind individual, one-on-one, and something changed. Something to me woke up and said, you need to get involved. So if it wasn't for George Herbert Walker Bush...
This dude's too white. I get the willies about him.
Hey, this is going to surprise you. John F. Kennedy.
Yes, that dude looks like Michael Flynn. That's who I thought it was at first.
Very enamored with politics, and as a junior, we were in a government class, and I fell in love with our constitutional republic so much.
This dude kind of looks like Kevin McCarthy's older brother.
Hey, let's figure out, and I still have this notebook in my keepsake, let's figure out when I could run for president. And the idea that a small town kid from nowhere could run for office and become a senator, a representative, a president, it really inspired me. I actually worked.
You ain't become shit yet, son.
Doors for Steve Swigum in way back when Steve Swigum was in the West Concord, Kenyon area.
Squigum sounds like what you do after your orgasm.
I'm a Republican through and through, but probably I would have to say that
I got squism on my
initial
tits.
influence with John F. Kennedy. It's hard to explain maybe as a Republican, but that's the truth.
Come on now.
Could you repeat the question again?
Absolutely. What one politician has most inspired your political style, and how have you tried to live up to their example?
Well, actually, I was going to say the same thing Jeff was, Ronald Reagan, because he's able to work with so many people and bring people
Jesus
together. But I'm
Christ.
going to switch a little bit here because I love history. So I'm going to say I also love George Washington. He was really one of our first politicians, started as a general. He was honest, he was ethical, he was tough.
Was
had the
he?
ability to bring so many people of differing ideas together to start this great nation. And I emulate and want to emulate what he did. I'm a people person. I'm able to relate to many, bring people together, find things we can work on and agree on, and then work up from there to the things we don't agree on, and at least get some things done. George Washington did that. He also knew when it was time.
Oh yeah, she believes that cherry tree bullshit.
He didn't become a king. After 12 years,
Cannot tell a lie.
I will be retiring.
The whitewashed baby version of history.
12 years is my limit. I'll be retiring at the end of this year.
I'm going to have to agree with Bill. John F. Kennedy. I grew up in the 60s, 70s, but one of the most prolific people that I ever remember was John F. Kennedy.
That's a bullshit answer, too.
And with Martin Luther King and Malcolm X and all those really cool things that happened back then, those things that were pivotal changes that made America what it is. I've modeled my life somewhat to that, whereas I don't see myself as any type of leader. I don't see myself even as a politician.
He don't know shit about JFK.
In the capacity of service to people, whether it's my community or somebody else's community. I've never wanted to be that type of leader to tell other people what to do, but improve their lives and show them how to live their own lives and lead their own lives and govern themselves. One of the biggest things that I was ever made a big impact.
I am really not liking the way things are looking down in the bottom right-hand corner right now.
But what you can do for your country.
The federal agents are preparing to do something.
More in the modern day, I definitely have respect for the work that Ronald Reagan did, and we can all use that example.
Hold on, let me see if I can take this big. Yeah, I can take it big if we need
What I
to.
will say is Abraham Lincoln is someone that I admire. Noticed a change that was desperately needed within our country. was brave enough to enact it no matter what the cost. That is what it is going to take. People brave enough to make the changes that are so desperately needed here in our state.
If need be, we can switch back and forth.
When I started all this, I wanted to look at who I would mentor me and who would mold me as my thought process would develop when I was running. And I looked at people who had similar lives that I had and success in their previous lives of becoming a political figure, whether it's in business,
previous lives,
acting, or
we're doing a little
sports.
Buddhism here.
So for me, it's a tie. I have Ronald Reagan and Donald Trump without the hair and the money, though. So.
I frequently tell Brad that I think...
What do Reagan and Trump even have in common?
I have a lot of politicians that are kind of my heroes, but the one that I really kind of brings to mind the most is John Adams. And
it's just a racist pedo, yeah.
He represented the Boston Redcoats in the Boston Massacre and was extremely unpopular, almost lost his office. I'm now representing this ICE agent and helping him get Department of Justice representation. I know how that feels. He also then helped write the Declaration of Independence, and then after that, he negotiated the Treaty of Paris, which ended the American Revolution. He brought people together in a way that seldom I've ever seen in American.
Oh, hey, it'll pull up on Google, eh?
Thomas Jefferson on July 4, 1826, and they had that beautiful correspondence between the two of them on opposite ends of the political spectrum that was just beautiful.
Well, I couldn't wait for my turn because I'm so proud of this president, Dwight D. Eisenhower. And the reason why, this man commanded the largest military operation in the history of mankind.
Eisenhower might have been my pick.
He was the first and only president to be baptized in office, first week in office, in administration. The other reason why I say this, why this is important.
I say it because he built the fucking interstate highway system.
The Soviet Union, the anti-God unit, and communism was spreading across the world at that time.
Warned about the rise of the military-industrial complex.
Americans. During his presidency, one nation under God was put into the Pledge of Allegiance. The National Prayer Breakfast was
expanded TVA and
these things
other works programs.
Difference, and reminded Americans of that. And one last thing on the end, he could not have won the war in Europe without his General George S. Patton. And you know what? Right now we have our General George S. Patton. His name is Donald J. Trump. Thank you.
Really? That's TDS.
Well, I was a history major in college, and I love reading history, and one biography I've always liked is that of Ulysses S. Grant, who was a citizen farmer out of Ohio, but when the Civil War started, he was up for the battle. So he immediately started fighting, he worked his way up the chain of command, and quickly became the best general of the North. And wherever Abraham Lincoln wanted him to go, he went. And at the surrender of the South at Appomattox, or at, I'm forgetting the name of the actual place, sorry about that, but he treated the South with respect and allowed the Southern fighters to go back to their farms. Then after Andrew Johnson became president, who basically was trying to undo everything that was won in the Civil War, Ulysses S. Grant just quietly went back to his citizen life. But when it came time to run again, he ran for president, won for 2 terms, and reestablished the freedom of the country. And he eventually went back to become a citizen farmer again. So he left where
I was going to say he at least knew his subject, unlike the other ones, but the more he talked, I kind of don't know if that was the case.
The person I admire the most, she said this. See if you can come up with the answer. The problem with socialism is that you eventually run out of other people's money.
It was Thatcher, wasn't it?
Margaret Thatcher. She stood strong for individual liberties.
Yeah, she was a horrible, horrible woman.
Even though it's hard, if you fall down, get back up. And she believed strongly.
The problem with her quote is that it's absolute bullshit.
Margaret Thatcher's career. She emulated someone who did get beat down, figuratively. And she did have to get up And if you ever...
I get knocked down, but I get up again.
In Parliament. And
the federal agents are retreating now, huh?
And she's an incredible leader.
Good.
Margaret Thatcher. Thank you.
Sports cards.
Well, the one I admire the most is my good friend and the greatest president ever, Donald J. Trump.
Oh, my God.
And I want to tell you about him. When we spent time together, I thought I was a good multitasker. He's incredible. I'll sit in the Oval Office and watch what he does and learn from it. And I remember the summer before last, we were sitting together, both of us, and he was saying, Mike, he said, look, they're destroying our company or our country. It's so bad. And I said, sir, I said, these are actually good things. They said, people are pouring in. They're looking to God because people look to God.
Objectively.
When things are bad, not when things are good. And he goes, yeah, but he goes, there's, it's going to, in 4 years, I don't even know if we can get it all fixed. And I looked at him and I said, sir, with God, all things are possible. And him working through you, you'll get
jot that down.
Better than anyone in history. That's him. Where look what he can get. He surprises me in a day. We're working on everything.
Jabroni.
And that's my mentor, and I have hands on, and that's what I would do as governor too.
Thank you, everyone. Question 3 for Mr. Parrish to start.
This is Byronic in here. I'm sad if she missed that. She would have loved that.
But bear with me. We are in Scott County, so this is an important question specifically to Scott County. In 2024, the 54A House race in Shakopee was decided by just 14 votes, as 20 ballots were discarded before they were counted, prompting a court contest and public debate about election confidence.
Anonymously.
What specific policies would you implement as governor to improve accountability, prevent ballot processing errors, and strengthen voter confidence in Minnesota elections? And
now that you're here, we need to get high.
Let me know what you think about seating Brad Tabke and if that was the right decision.
You're going to have to educate me on Brad Tabke.
You're going to have to educate all of us on Brad Tabke.
I'll leave that one alone, man. All right.
Parkours.
I'm actually not going to wait for the election to get started here.
Who's Brad Tabke?
Problem. I'm put out a proposal that's headed out to all 87 counties in the coming couple of weeks here. It's going to request...
If this motherfucker don't know who Brad Tabke is, how are we going to know?
And at their own initiative, institute an election integrity cell. And that cell is going to be built on certified judges, not the end around working with non-certified judges. 16 seconds left. Absolutely, we need to go back to paper ballots, same-day voting, voter ID.
I'm going to ask you to repeat that again.
Absolutely. In 2024, the 54A House race in Shakopee was decided by just 14 votes, as 20 ballots were discarded before they were counted, prompting a court contest and public debate about election confidence. What specific policies would you implement as governor to improve accountability, prevent ballot processing errors?
Okay, this is the DFL. He was the DFL candidate, so like the DSA.
Democrat Brad Tabke.
It's the Democratic Farmer Labor Party.
I get through all that. Election fraud is real, and we need to work with it. I can tell you what the Democrats say, it's non-existent. That's what they said, though, about all the fraud that's happening now. 5 years ago, they said it's non-existent. Fairy dust. So I say we need to get the fairy dust detector out.
He won by 14 votes, but there were apparently 20 absentee ballots that were missing.
Right on my solutions page.
They wanted a special election. The court denied it.
It can no longer just be a driver's license. It's going to have to be real ID or something. Number 2, regular audits of our election rolls, so we get dead people and all the other people that...
Enough of the people that said that their votes had been accidentally discarded testified that they voted for Tabke, so he would have won anyway.
So you made a mistake. Well, they just pull any old ballot out. Might be yours. That's wrong. Shrink the voting window and require a valid vote backup in paper. So I'm out of time. I'm sorry.
So Brad Tabke won by 14 votes. There were 20 missing absentee ballots.
The paper ballot and voter...
But enough of those people testified that they voted for Tabke that he would have won anyway. The Republicans are still crying about it.
In 2018, I was living in South Minneapolis in the Cedar River.
Good night, Davey.
and I
Light one up, tip one back. It's all right to have a little fun before you hit the sack.
up, and people getting off those buses, face coverings, hijabs, burqas, all that stuff, and they were getting off the bus, going in one door, going out, coming out, getting back on the bus, and repeating. It was the same busload of people, and they'd make like 2 or 3 rounds, and I sat there watching that, and when I tried to report that to the people that were supposed to be monitoring
It looked like
it just
the
kinda
protests are dispersing outside of the federal building.
So I really think there has to be
the Whipple building.
monitoring system for that.
Election integrity matters very much. I would absolutely support voter ID. When I have to show my driver's license to get a fishing license, the least we could do is have voter ID. The other thing is having the permanent absentee rolls are a problem. We could roll that back. And then making sure that our window is not open to more than 40 days for early voting.
I'm making sure everyone knows
We
that
need to make sure that we are doing and removing is the
Lisa
ability
DeMuth
to vouch for 8 or more people.
can be my GOP mommy.
So election integrity matters very much.
Yes, Flash.
When you look back at what happened in the 24 election, in the House races specifically, if you remember with me, House Democrats did not show up for work for 23 days. The reason they did not show up is because their candidate in Roseville did not live in the district and could not take office. They were fighting against that.
First, I
don't believe you.
Citizen to vote. Secondly, voter ID for sure, legitimate ID, license. And
He looks like what's his name at the end of fucking Apocalypse Now.
my light work, so he'll take care of him.
Lenny, welcome in.
So when Peggy's
What's his name? Fucking
there's evidence.
greatest actor of all time. Got stupid fucking fat.
A gentleman by the name of Ronnie Williams, and this didn't get a lot of.
Looks like Butterbean. Yes, he does.
Who was his girlfriend. They're Nevada residents. They were indicted in federal court, ultimately pled guilty to actually harvesting ballots in Minnesota, over 500 of them, by giving them to an unnamed foundation in Minnesota.
Godfather. Who am I thinking about? Goddamn.
That's a tip of an iceberg.
Seeing his face clear as day in front of me.
And I write, just put my signature there, and they don't require an ID. I feel like I'm stealing something. I can't believe that they're not requiring more. I think Lisa's absolutely right. We're requiring it for.
I keep wanting to say Milton Berle, but that's not it. No, The Godfather.
We need to go through all these voter registration lists, compare those to Social Security numbers.
Motherfucking Marlon Brando, thank you.
There, get these people off the rolls.
Milton Berle.
So many of you know my wife, Sheila, and I both, we've been married now nearly 40 years.
Cicero, this is the anti-racist racist.
Through the Jim Crow South, segregated Jim Crow South, where they've struggled to vote. We homeschooled our children. And I remember taking them when they were 8, 6, 4, we had 5 of them. I would take them to the election booth with me every November when it was time to vote, early in the mornings.
This is Kendall Qualls. He is in the lead in the current polling.
The vote. It was so important.
The names: Marlon Brando, Milton Berle, MB.
And so
same amount of syllables and shit. That's where my mind was.
First ones to vote themselves as adults. It boils my blood when I see the cheap.
I knew it wasn't Milton Berle.
How they diluted it. We can vote 2 months.
That's Uncle Milty, and he has a cigar and
do it all in
shit.
one day. We deserve better, and we should get better. I'm going to make sure we get it. And that 15 million people that came into this country in the last 38 months under the previous administration was an attack on our vote.
If that plow is the city, just go ahead and let the plow. Don't.
In the Middle East,
don't
in
impede their
2006 in
progress.
Iraq, they just started with democracy, and they had a public vote. And the citizens would get in line. They would put their finger in indelible ink after they voted, and they walk around with that finger with pride. And the people trusted the outcome. Democracy does not work if people do not trust the vote. So we need legislation to trust the vote. And that means easy to vote, hard to cheat. Same day voting, encourage same-day voting. If there's going to be absentee ballots under very strict circumstances, there needs to be a
Why?
with absentee ballots. And even better.
Okay, if you want to be that strict about it, then make it a fucking national holiday, goddammit.
Judges, voter ID.
I want to make it as easy to vote. I want to make sure everyone has access to the vote.
Before we do that, though, for the upcoming election, the suspected fraud is in a very small footprint geographically. We need to flood that zone with election judges and keep an eye on that. Thank you.
Flood the zone with election judges.
In medicine, we don't normally change a protocol unless we find evidence that there's reason to do so. And having evidence one time isn't enough. We're looking for reproducibility. Well, in America, sometimes we get arrogant, thinking our way is the best way. But if you look across the globe, more than 50 nations have voter ID. Many of those nations didn't have voter ID, but saw fraud occur, and they realized they...
Brother, what fraud? You had to have ID to register to vote.
Our allies have voter ID. I think Peggy Bennett makes a good point. We need to period.
Are you telling me somebody's going to go to a poll and know my address?
Should be allowed to vote.
And my name, they're going to vote that one time. That never happens.
Would go a long ways towards building trust in our elections. And without that trust, it's going to be hard for trust on other fronts to develop as well, including in our public health world. Thank you.
Everything I've done for the last 5 years.
A lot of states,
millions of dollars.
You are registered to vote when you go and get your ID.
I built a team of over 300,000 people in all 50 states and every county in the country called Cause of America to try and get every county to paper ballots. The RNC has got them to pass a resolution a couple years ago what perfect voting would be. Same-day voting, paper ballots, no machines, precinct level voter ID. It's a beautiful resolution. I turned in last February to the government, or to this administration, a stack that thick. Our president is working from the top down as I'm working from the bottom up. I will never stop fighting for secure elections. 132 countries have banned electronic voting machines. 104 countries have banned early voting and mail-in voting. We have one problem in Minnesota, though, that's extra. As I've said, let's melt down the machines and turn them into prison bars. We have too many criminals.
Seems like if you did all mail-in voting, then you'd have all paper ballots, and that'd solve all your issues, wouldn't it?
Well, in a way, I'm kind of amazed that we're still grappling with this problem today. And I find it really entertaining that the DFL doesn't believe in voter integrity. There's an agenda. It's very clear. Now, most of you don't know that I hold a U.S. patent, so I'm an inventor, and I think creatively and differently. And there's two things I do. One is I'll ask myself, has this been done before in a related field? If the answer is yes, let's find out what works. For example, I used to fly for the airlines. There's a program called the Known Crew Identification.
Nancy Mace had to pay property taxes
So if
today.
you're a flight attendant or a pilot, you will go through a TSA.
But damn, she looking good while she does it.
You'll know almost immediately if you're the real deal or not. Not once that I heard of that the TSA agent say, "Gee, you should be dead," or you're from Iraq. What are you doing here? It's a non-issue. You need an ID for everything from Sudafed to fishing licenses. You've heard that, and I think that to have a state-approved ID to vote is reasonable, and paper ballots. Thank you.
Okay, you gonna give everybody an ID? You gonna make sure everybody has a day off?
That at the end of this
You okay with not getting your election results back for a couple of days, or you gonna call that fraud?
straw poll. Remember that we're going to try and get them as quickly as possible so that we can turn them in, count them, and get you your results tonight. That's our goal. We can prove that we can count paper ballots quickly. Question number 4 is going to be another 60-second question. Peggy Bennett will be starting, and here's the question. The Minnesota state budget has doubled in the last dozen years, while Republicans believe in cutting government spending. What % cut to the budget would you put forward as governor, if any, and why?
Thank you. Before I say anything about a % of cut, I'm going to say all the things that lead into all these expensive budgets are causing wealth to migrate out of our state, whether it's taxes and budget. We need to focus on core priorities. First one, focus on fraud. Get rid of it. What are we up to? $9 billion now? If we just cut that, we'd have a much smaller budget. But we need to stop trying to fund.
Hey, Mark, what's going on? Are you still with me, Mark? Mark. Hey, fuck you, Mark. Go fuck yourself, motherfucker. Hey, little bitch. You gonna say something? You got shit to say? I got a new phone like a month ago, and god damn do I ever get a shit ton of stupid fucking calls. I'm trying to just block numbers, but you know, sometimes you gotta take a call.
For all that other stuff, like menstrual products in boys' bathrooms and
what?
Bikes, free electric bikes for people and things like that. So there's not a percentage I could say, but I can tell you the percentage is increased, has way more than your budget. It needs to go way down.
This was pretty easy. Well, a little bit complicated.
You know,
I don't think
I paused it so we wouldn't miss a response, but I shouldn't have.
Now, especially considering it'd be nice to. It's just not a feasible reality at this point. A lot of things that people aren't considering is we've had an entire generation or two of kids that have had substandard educations, and a lot of these kids can't read, they can't write, they can barely hold jobs. Most are living at home still. And so we're going to hit this interesting little bubble.
Brother, what jobs have you had?
It's going to be a dry spell. And unless we prepare and pad ourselves for that, buffer ourselves for that, we're going to end up with, you know, a nice big shock in a few years. And if we start
all the federal agents retreated, and then they opened the gate.
Get ourselves in a little bit of trouble.
An ambulance went in.
The state budget has exploded, but under my leadership and House Republicans this year, we were able to reduce the spending in the state budget by $5 billion. If you remember back, though, we had an $18 billion surplus. Governor Walz raised all of our taxes and fees another $10 billion, and we are headed now to a $6 billion deficit. When I look at the state budget, one of the things that was done under full Democrat control was the addition of 6,000 new full-time equivalent employees within state government. As governor,
I would assume they know that, Flash.
The necessary cuts. Fraud needs to end. The wasteful spending within state government needs to end, but we also have to provide the economic boost of reducing our taxes, especially the tax on Social Security, and right-sizing the state budget in a way that we haven't seen in years.
I'm glad you're on my side.
We need to stop the DEI.
What the DEI?
With an $18 billion surplus and businesses shut down, including mine, they increased government by 40%. That is irresponsible and overspending. We need to cut back on that FTE people that were hired, lower the budget back to pre-COVID days. With that surplus we have, give it back to the people where it belongs. And this fraud is because of the DEI people that were too stupid to find it in the first place. Thank you.
What? This guy creeps me out.
In 2019, the budget was $43.1 billion. Today, it's $64.89 billion. That's 79.9% increase in the budget. And let's be real here. This happened also while Republicans were there. We didn't get it changed because we haven't been communicating correctly. This is just reality. What we need to do is we need to right-size our government. I learned more than anything in college that when I didn't have any money, I didn't spend any money. We do the same thing through tax cuts. We give a tax cut. My idea is to increase the standard deduction to $75,000, which is going to greatly help the middle class. I've been spending my entire life with politicians talking about, I'm going to help the middle class, and nobody ever does it. And we need to have property tax relief. We need to do something, especially for seniors. I want to freeze property taxes when you're 65 and older, so you're not repeatedly buying your house over and over again. My goal is to get back to the previous walls, $45 billion.
I got nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, you know what? We're going to do a Texas two-step on this.
This is the anti-racist racist.
We're going to grow the economy because the business of Minnesota is getting back.
Kendall Qualls, he is the leader in the polls.
We'll take, it'll bring in surplus. But I agree, 40% is a minimum cut. And it's not like it's a cut. Hey, look, there weren't starving kids under Dayton administration, a Democrat governor. His budget was at that 43.
What did he just say?
When Walls took over. Look, if he has an $18 billion surplus and he let his pirates loot the state budget of $9 billion we know of, then there's a lot of waste and fraud in this state that we're paying for. You're paying for, I'm paying for. We're taxed at the highest level in the country, and they're wasting it. It's an absolute insult. Absolute insult. We're going to get this fixed, and we need someone from outside of government to help fix it. Someone from outside St. Paul to clean up St. Paul.
A smart person in the audience asked me this very same thing when we were in the lobby, and I paused. And the reason I paused in answering is we need to make sure we balance the budget. But having worked in the private sector, I worked for Cargill, worked for Sunopta, which is a Canadian agribusiness company, and then most recently as CEO.
When Flash says the Epstein class, this is what he means. I haven't had a chance to do the news since this. This is what he means by Epstein class. This is at Mar-a-Lago a couple days ago.
The way you look tonight.
This is apparently some actual nod to a period in history. Do people dance in fucking dog masks in the 18th century? What? This is creepy. I don't. Okay, is it wrong? I mean, is it an attack on furries if I say this is creepy? No, these motherfuckers and their plush digs dancing away as normal Americans suffer at Mar-a-Lago. It is not the furry aspect I necessarily have an issue with.
Which is a Canadian.
I kind of find the dog masks cute.
And most recently as CEO of Weymouth Farms, Good Sense Foods. I know in the private sector where
that's what the Epstein class be doing right now, though.
Back is against the wall. You can shave 10% if you need to and still make things work. So at a minimum, I think we can cut the budget by 10%, but we still need to balance the budget. And I also know that with the spending increase of roughly $20 billion in the 2023 biennium, $12 billion of which was recurring, what did we get for that? So there's $12 billion, which is roughly 15%. So somewhere between 10 and 15% realistically, I think we could cut by tightening our belts and still balance the budget.
Curiouser will ask me math, and I'll be like, you take your 33 and a third chance.
Every program by a specific percentage. We've got some programs that work.
It's what I hear when I hear any numbers.
We have to stop the omnibus bills like they've been done. We need to make legislators vote so we can tell what they're voting for, so we can identify what works. Let's just take the Paid Family Medical Leave Act. This is going to create 400 new FTEs, full-time equivalents. You're talking about creating a new sub-company in the legislature, in the government, 400 full-time equivalents. The Milliman report identifies that this will probably cost almost $5 billion.
Milliman report.
400 full-time equivalents. To put that in perspective, 98% of companies in Minnesota are small.
You take your 33 to third.
In one fell swoop, one of the largest companies in Minnesota created in order to sabotage and squash small businesses.
I got 141 and 2/3 chance of winning.
Well, I'll try and say this in a minute. When I came out of addiction by the grace of God 17 years ago tomorrow, I went all in with philanthropy and helping people
That was
with
on
homeless
crack.
and addiction where
Right.
I was at. And I set up, it was about 8 years ago, I set up an amazing program where you're using private sector money. People want to help, people want to give. We're talking about these welfare and social programs now. And we set up so you're using private sector money, and I did it in Detroit, Michigan. Set this up, it cost millions to set up this platform, but it worked. I was the government, so I paid the stuff around it, and then the money people put in for things that they wanted to help out. It brought it down about 40% you would save on these programs. So what I will do is go in and you get rid of all the fraud. You got 9 billion, 18 billion, but then you vet every one of these programs to see, do they work? And you get rid of them if they don't, and you have an end game to it so people don't become dependent on it. And then if you save another 40%, it's billions of dollars. You take that money and you lower taxes. You get rid of sales tax to help the box stores and stuff so people go there. Get rid of income tax, and you use that money to help us all have the greatest affordable living ever.
Thank you. Well, here in Minnesota, I like to
I'm not high enough for this
we have a
shit.
revenue creation problem. We have a spending problem. Has anyone been to the Doge conferences last summer? They talked about Buy American Experiment. They did a great job. They're all throughout the state. They came up, they did the homework. $3.9 billion in savings I won't read the list, I'll go right down the line, a couple here. Cut DEI employees and state agencies, $31 million in savings. Do you know under the Pellini administration, we didn't spend a dime on DEI? Now, how many of you have ever seen a conservative professor? You're looking at it. I know that's kind of strange. I could tell you some stories that would make you here and want to puke. DEI has been a disaster. Some of my advisees, I had one advisee come in and said, Dr. Johnson, I was told the first week of class, if you're a white male, the highest grade you'll get in my class is a C+. This was by an angry diversity professor.
Never happened.
Until I heard it 5 months later. Another student said the same thing.
Never happened.
Who's actually said the same thing. We got
Never happened.
Cutting.
So remember this figure, very specific, 33%. I'm very intent on that, and there's a mathematical reason for that. I'll explain another time when I have more than a minute or two. We must get back to reality and start telling you the truth. This is going to sound like I'm criticizing all of my comrades up here, but listen, thieving and grifting off the federal government is not a budget, okay? We've built a pipeline of thieving and grifting off of federal tax dollars, which is your tax dollars, and your tax dollars have been stolen to do everything other than what you were told it was going to do. So we can cut Social Security, we can cut 33% of the budget, we can cut 33% of the admin overhead, 33% of the admin overhead. We can balance a budget with decency and respect and telling you the truth.
Thank you. Our next question is a simple yes or no question. We'll allow for about a sentence if you want to add that to your yes or no, but that's about it. Mr. Estrada, here's the question. The grassroots have demanded never to allow a governor to lock down our state again. Yes or no? Would you sign the Never Again bill with the text that former Representative Eric Mortensen originally authored into law if it reached your desk as governor, which takes away a governor's ability to unilaterally...
Seriously, like, COVID has rotted these people's brains.
Absolutely, I already signed it.
I have already signed on the bill that is currently alive in the House of Representatives that would never allow the governor to have unbelievable power like we have seen.
She is polling in second place currently, and just barely behind anti-racist racist dude.
Down at the State Fair with Action for Liberty.
We're not a nation of kings. Yes.
Yes, I would sign that bill.
This guy's polling in first place.
Also sign a term limit on governor as well.
Yes,
Kendall Qualls is the black guy's name.
And when I was in the Senate, I authored a resolution to take away his powers at the time.
And Mike Lindell is polling in a distant third.
I would sign it as long as that bill does not infringe on the constitutional powers of the...
All the rest of the people are kind of...
dispatching the National Guard in emergencies.
Insignificant.
I just want to make sure that is a one clean bill.
I signed the pledge and I'd sign the bill as it stands at the moment.
The Never Again bill has constitutional problems. I'm signed on to a bill that would solve the problem perfectly.
Thank you, everyone. Our next question is a 30 seconds question. Lisa, please let us know, what is one of your favorite parts of the Bible and why?
Romans 12:12, be joyful in hope, patient in affliction, and faithful in prayer. I found that verse in 2000.
That's a fucking weird thing to ask at a political event.
We didn't know if he was going to continue being with us or not. We spent 70 days and 7 months at the Mayo Clinic.
In a country that's not supposed to have any religious litmus tests.
Verse, the joy of the Lord is my strength in Nehemiah, both of those.
Psalms 22. Focus on your good name and not the riches. Thank you.
I like Galatians 6:9. Let us not be weary in well-doing.
Nice.
We shall weep if we faint not.
Some trust in chariots, some trust in horses, but we trust in the name of the Lord our God. Psalms 27.
Yeah, I'm Catholic. You can't expect me to know an actual verse in the Bible. Yeah. But hey, just for the record, I
love it.
Bible, Old Testament, New Testament, from start to finish over like 3 years. But my favorite is love God and love your neighbor. I orient my life around that, and I try to live by that.
No, you should have stuck with your original answer. You piece of shit.
Family doc has been the privilege of my life, and I think I see people all the time saying, why? Why me? Why my daughter? Why my son? Why my grandchild? A huge question for us as we travel this journey on earth is, why? And oftentimes I share with my patients the verse that helps me get through the day, and that's Esther 4:14. Have you considered you're in the position you're in for such a time as this? You may not recognize the power of your testimony, but it is there. Trust.
Proverbs 3:5-6, trust in the Lord with all your heart, lean not on your own understanding, and always acknowledge him and he will guide your paths. I was going down a really bad path in my life, and 17 years ago.
I was on crack.
And now God guides my path every day.
It all comes down to this, John 3:16, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, that whoever believes in him will have eternal life. I made a born-again decision at age 20, and I'm not going back to the old lifestyle. We need a godly governor, period.
Oh yeah, you take your Psalms and your John 3:16. Austin 3:16 says, I just whooped your ass. Oh hell yeah. My favorite, how was the question phrased? The most impactful verse is Proverbs 30:33. And the churning of the milk bringeth forth butter. The wringing of the nose bringeth forth blood. For the bringing of wrath bringeth forth strife. I went to a Christian school my 8th grade year, and a teacher told me that he was going to do Proverbs 30:33 to me. And I looked it up, and it said, the churning of the milk bringeth forth butter. And I was like, you're going to milk me? You got a real big laugh out of the class. But he meant the ring of the nose part, not the milking part.
I would love to recite Romans chapter 8, and I can't do that for you, but I will tell you the fact that it changed.
You can't do it.
To about 16 years old, and the spirit of adoption came forward out of that chapter 8.
Hell no goddamn verses.
The way that changed my life, and I was a born-again Christian at that moment because I came from a very broken home, and I took on God as my father.
These stupid I took on God because I wanted to fight God, motherfucker.
I have so many.
Christian God is real, and we got to kill him.
As a believer, but I love the David and Goliath story. And what David said to Goliath and the Philistines, he said, it's not by sword and it's not by spear.
These people ain't read no history. These people ain't read the Bible.
It belongs to the Lord, and he will deliver you into our hands. I have faith, and that's a true scripture.
As a Native American Indian, I don't really go to church a lot. So, but there is something that really stands out, and I think it's very relevant with things that are happening today, and that would be Acts 5:29. Christians must obey God rather than
he had to look it up on his phone.
Divine command, and they must be willing to accept the consequences for disobeying unjust laws. And to me, that makes a lot of sense, given the fact that we have a lot of people out there rioting and don't realize that there are consequences that they should be accepting.
What? That doesn't make any sense. They're the ones disobeying unjust laws.
7. Another yes or no with a brief response is okay. Mr. Kohler, Republicans oppose abortion.
Mr. Colin.
Platform. The Health and Human Services spending bills fund taxpayer-funded abortion. Yes or no? Would you veto the HHS bill that publicly funds abortion or any other spending bill that publicly funds abortion as governor?
Yes, I would. Thank you.
We just have a spending problem. And I think that we have to get our spending problems under control. We keep thinking that we can spend for literally everything that affects everybody's lives. And unless and until we get control of our spending, it's just going to keep going up, as I just described, at 79.9% since Walz has been president. We have to take control of this.
I want to make sure I respond in the correct way.
This chucklefuck. The anti-racist racist.
Republicans oppose abortion in our platform. The HHS spending bill funds taxpayer-funded abortion. Yes or no? Would you veto the health?
I'm sorry, the anti-racist.
So, and here's why. Here's why. Most Minnesotans do want access to abortion. But how they passed this last thing to put this thing in the law, most Minnesotans don't know they have abortion goes up to 9 months. We need a lot of education to do. And I think that most Minnesotans would agree, for those people that have faith, that oppose abortion, they shouldn't have to pay for it out of their their own taxpayer dollar.
You guys have about 15 seconds, so preferably you keep it to 1 or 2 sentences.
Yes.
Yes, I would veto that bill, and I would take the dollars saved and put that towards funding pregnancy resource centers, so all women are supported.
Thank you.
Yes, I'll save my time for the next question.
Yes, I currently serve on the Pregnancy Resource Center Board of Directors. My wife's a family practice physician and used to do high-risk C-sections. For us, it's faith and it's also biology. Good luck arguing with her about what abortion is and is not.
Yes.
It's not that easy. There's a 1995 Minnesota Supreme Court law that would make it If we veto it, it immediately goes to court. We have to undo that law. We have to get better judges. We have to get a Republican governor so that we can make a difference and save the lives of our babies. So, no, I won't. I wouldn't do it because it would be worthless to do. I'm going to do things that work.
Yes, I would veto that. But in addition, what I would like to do is start promoting safe sex practices again, because that would eliminate a lot of the problems.
Thank you.
And as governor, I would.
Comprehensive sex ed would help.
And can change that constitutional law that was in 1993.
I don't think that's what you mean, though.
We need safeguards that are missing, and I carried the heartbeat bill.
Thank you. We're on to question number 8. This will be a 60-second question, and you will have time to answer. Minnesota has faced high-profile cases of waste, fraud, and abuse, as we've already heard tonight. From the $250 million Feeding Our Future to Medicaid and child care assistance fraud. As governor, what reforms, if any, are needed to prevent this? Would you move to defend any of the fraudulent programs, and if so, which ones?
Frankly, yes. The governor has already identified 14 of them that have fraud potential problems, and he didn't even put Feeding Our Future on that list. And let's just be honest here. This has been going on. I mean, the Leering Center was open in 2018, okay? Democrats and Republicans could have found that. Nothing happened about that until the U.S. Attorney's Office, the media, and then a YouTuber came forward with all this. That's when all this really started. So yes, I want to go through this all.
No, it didn't.
The remedy for bad government is not more government. We appoint commissioners to go in, look at this fraud, identify all of it, and stop it. Root it out. I think that $9 billion is the tip of the iceberg with respect to fraud. Finally, my priest was a lot tougher than Pat Knight's priest. He made us memorize those verses.
So the question would be all the above fraud. Yes, we eliminate all those. I agree with Chris here. You know, in the real world and all we live in, your direct line managers at each level have responsibility for making sure that the budget's aligned. And if there's any misdoings or ill-gotten things, that those people are taken care of. So I want to get back to this abortion thing real quick.
I've heard them go up as much as like 200 billion.
State laws. We'll challenge that. As citizens in this,
which is like absurd.
Or something.
I think Elon was asked about 9 billion yesterday.
Misaligned with your religious beliefs, and if we need to challenge it in the Supreme Court, we'll do it.
You know, fraud is a huge problem. I think it's a simple fix, which is get a competent governor. How many people here run their own business or run a company? Quite a number of you. So what would happen if you mismanaged your money? If you let money just go out and was spent fraudulently? You'd be out of a job. You'd be facing probably civil liability, if not criminal liability, for breaching the fiduciary duty, the duty of care. This should not happen. Just basic accounting controls and compliance would prevent this. And there are plenty of ways to fix it by getting the A-team in there. Don't just put political appointees in there that are in there for favoritism. Get people that are in there that are competent. And then change the culture in the whole state government where they care about your money, our money. That's not their money. So I think it's an easy fix. It starts with the people. It starts with a Republican governor.
The culture that exists in Minnesota government right now is much like a cancer that has metastasized. And when you have metastatic cancer, you know that simply going in and removing the primary tumor doesn't save the patient's life.
Metadata cancer?
Cutting off the head of the snake won't do it. There has to be some recognition.
The indictment says $2 billion.
If you take Tim Walz out and put someone else in, that's going to solve the problem. In other words, Amy Klobuchar is not going to.
I didn't even realize it was that high.
An easy task.
But I actually had the indictment saved, so.
We need to peel layers away.
And I looked at it earlier.
Literally to clean house. In the same way that if someone's got a cancer, we've got to be looking at some type of radiation or chemotherapy or immunotherapy. Or
250 million million, I'm sorry.
But you cannot simply kid yourself. And
250 million.
We've got a new governor.
That's the number.
And now it's going to be fixed. This is a culture that is literally...
I'm bad with numbers, I'm sorry.
The top 2 or 3 layers of every commissioner out there. So it has to be dramatic and drastic, and we've got to do what Bobby Kennedy has done. We've got to be willing to disrupt.
Well, I kind of answered this one earlier, but I'll go through it again. All these welfare and social programs, that's where our money's going. And you take the fraud out, and now you have to, I put great teams around me. You would address every single one of them and say, what's the return on this investment here? Is this actually helping people? Is it worth it? And then also you take, like I said, I'm going to have private sector money subsidizing that. And because the people want to help that they're partial to. And if you use private institutions like Teen Challenge, I'll tell you what happened there. The state of Minnesota, to expand that, Teen Challenge needed help. The state of Minnesota gave them help, but they put conditions on it. You had to take God out of Teen Challenge. Well, then it turned into a failure. I lived it down there. So you take away these regulations, you use private sector money and private businesses, you can use them, you subsidize them with no restrictions on them.
Welcome in.
Sector money, I know you can save 40% or more on these programs, which is, you'll have all the money you need to do what we need to do with it. Lower taxes.
I was on crack.
Well, back in 2017, I was on the St. Cloud City Council, and I was ground zero. Why? Do you remember Jody Harpstead? She left the DHS commissioner position about a year ago. Back in 17, you know what she was? She was the Lutheran Social Services president. She came to St. Cloud. She was so angry that I finally got a hold of her abstract after 3 months of bugging people for it. I'm reading it publicly. After the meeting, she almost sprinted down, almost pushed over a plainclothes law enforcement officer to get to me because she was that stinking mad. What was I doing? I wanted answers. Where's the money going? I'm a front lines fighter. I had to wear body armor. I had to go with police protection. That's who you want as a fighter, someone that's been there at ground zero dealing with this issue. Back then, I said it then, and I'm just as right today. Follow the money. And my God, I never even dreamt to become a $9 billion nightmare. Assistant Attorney Joe Thompson, I think he's just resigning now, said we can't litigate ourselves out of this mess. Wow.
So safeguards. Hopefully many of you in the audience know the principle of internal controls. We have very simple principles that aren't being practiced. There is a cultural problem. I'm one of the original whistleblowers of the daycare fraud in Minnesota. It's been 10 years that I've been trying to get people to listen to the fact that we have bureaucrats, not just politicians, but bureaucrats who have been thieving and grifting off of your tax dollars, stealing your tax dollars, doing everything other than what you were told it was doing. It can end. People will go to prison. One of my first agendas will be putting people in prison, and we can get back to having some respect and start working for you, who we should be working for. Thank you very much.
Hugely important subject. The first issue, fraud, this is a multi-level issue or a multi-component. First one has to do with agency oversight. That's the job of the executive branch, the governor. We need to make sure that our employees are doing the correct thing. And if they're not, they get fired. If they're fudging documents, they get fired. I actually authored and was successfully passed into law a couple terms ago, a bill that would hold accountability to some of these education nonprofits. They needed to provide data to show they're effective. I find out the agency isn't even implementing that. That's pretty rotten. So what we're passing in the legislature isn't even going through. The second thing, though, is these programs, they're designed to have fraud. They're designed. Example, Medicaid. To get into Medicaid, you do not have to provide your address or your social security number. That's a problem. So we have to deal with that. So we need...
That can't be true.
I would have a Doge team in Minnesota start going through, and we need to develop something like that and go through our state big time.
I doubt, ma'am, doubt.
Yeah, I agree with Peggy. These things were designed. It's literally by design. This is not something we're going to legislate our way out of. It's something we have to get deep down in and dig it right out, rut it out at the core. Now, I'm sure Phil might agree with this as well, is that all the fraud that we see is based on destabilization of our government, of our state. These are communist, socialist, Marxist tactics. This is not something new. This has been done throughout the world to destabilize governments, and we're on that chopping block right now. 2021, I think I kind of ribbed Tim Walz pretty good, standing on the Capitol steps, and I spoke out loud against it about pulling the weeds of socialism, communism, and Marxism in Minnesota, because we cannot evolve as a people or as a state until we get rid of that cancer.
I don't think you know shit about evolution, Mr. Monkey Man. Look,
I carried
motherfucker.
my first bill to combat fraud in 2019 as a brand new legislator. That bill said that any child care center that was receiving CCAP dollars would need to have daily attendance records, and those needed to be available upon request when inspected by DHS. Democrats in the House of Representatives didn't want anything to do with that. I couldn't get a hearing and could not get that passed. That is the attitude that has been taken by the Walz administration and Democrats here in Minnesota. They would rather ignore fraud. Governor Walz has not held a single one of his agency commissioners responsible, and he has fired no one in the state of Minnesota because of fraud. When I became Speaker in January, I established the Fraud Prevention and Agency Oversight Committee, requiring that it would have a sole...
Oh, I'm absolutely sure they not only asked for your Social Security number, they probably asked for your Social Security number 50 times over during the process.
I insisted. That is why you're seeing the focus on fraud and the viral video that came out.
How many people think we're better off than we were 7 years ago? 5 years ago? If this was a publicly traded company, they have failed us in their fiduciary duties. You, the stockholders, have lost. Do you think they're doing their jobs? That's right. I'm going to tell it like it is. I don't mean no offense. That's how I am. You know, this DEI thing's got to stop. We had elected officials on both sides.
He said something about his business was shut down during COVID, so you know he is.
You can't tell me that a third world country came here.
He looks like a fucking movie villain.
And outsmarted us. It's embarrassing. It's not just Minnesota money. This is U.S. taxpayer money. And we've become an embarrassment. We need a strong governor that won't take any crap, that's going to stand up for you and be your champion. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, and we're doing great. We're holding on to time, and everybody's doing the best they can. Please, this is a reminder to stick within the minutes that we allow, and it's also a reminder for all of you in the audience that are participating to keep track of those ballots, because we will be collecting them at the end to count them as quickly as we can. We're on to question number 9. It's a 60-second question.
Number 9, number 9, number 9.
As governor, would you sign a bill to outlaw gun-free zones like schools that leave people defenseless?
One of you fuckers is a Beatles fan. Just pop for that.
Well, that's an obvious question. Yes, obviously, I would sign that.
Obviously.
For the perpetrator, it's not a gun-free zone for him or her, is it? Typically, the only one that's carrying the gun is the one that actually is hurting people, and the people that need those weapons are the ones that are trying to defend themselves. It's asinine. So that, yes, absolutely. But while I got more time, I'm going to talk about something that's very important. You know, we have all good people up here. One of the things we have to do, our policies would probably overlap 80 to 90% of the time. This is about getting elected. We've been at this now for decades unsuccessfully. I actually ran for office in the 3rd Congressional District. Ilhan Omar is my inspiration. I never heard an immigrant been so ungrateful to the country, this host country. It offended me so much, I contacted the GOP. They encouraged me to run. I ran, I didn't win. Tom Emmer came back and said, "You did great. Would you stick around?" Because I got 5% more vote than everyone on the top of the ticket. We have a feasibility study, a pilot with my my campaign.
Well, as far as that specific provision, I need to think about that, but I want to say that I do support the Second Amendment. It's a constitutional right. We don't need new laws restricting gun control. What we need to do is protect due process and put more money towards mental health resources and just enforce the law. But as long as I've got some time, I want to talk about the fundamentals, because that's what we need to do to get back on track. And I've got a plan called the Big, Beautiful, Basic, Boring Plan. So I've got 30 seconds to bore the hell out of you, so I'm going to take it. So here's the 5 points of the plan. Make Minnesota affordable again. Grow a strong, resilient economy. Restore public safety and the rule of law. Fix our schools by focusing on outcomes, and build a smarter, smaller state government. And if we can get those fundamentals right, Minnesotans can thrive.
I've been asked to repeat the question, so I will. As
The
governor,
reason you're repeating the question is because we've been all over the map on this one now.
correct. The subject matter has been around. As governor, would you sign a bill to outlaw gun-free zones like schools that leave people defenseless or like sitting ducks?
Yes, I would sign such a bill, but I think we need to go farther. I think we need to ask ourselves, what are young people growing up with in terms of an environment? We grew up with Andy of Mayberry, John F. Kennedy. If you wanted to get edgy, you could watch All in the Family maybe with your mom and dad. Young people today are being raised with no sense of security. So we need to start thinking outside the box. We need to know, how are we going to harden the targets to some of these places? We need to know, how can we strategically have people carry guns that may not be law enforcement officers, but may be trained and can help? We need to have a greater presence of people who can help step in. We've seen that happen in churches and shootings that were interrupted. So we have to also initiate the conversation. Why doesn't Minnesota have stronger castle doctrine protection so that if someone violates the privacy and protection of your home, that you have the chance to go ahead and take care of yourself? You should not have to demonstrate that you tried to run out the back door. We need to lead on this. This is what we should be doing.
Yes, I would sign that, but I would add something to it. I've heard of a school, it's right here in Minnesota, I believe it's in Lakeville, and I've heard it's the most secure technology ever put in any school. And my team's been over there. I'm going to be getting over there in the next couple of weeks to see
His team.
It's so secure and what's so great about it. But that's what I do. Do your due diligence. We have to make our schools safe. I was so excited when I heard about that school. But you combine that with, yes, I would sign banning the gun-free zones, because I think you can't just, that has not worked where you had only the criminals have the guns.
Yeah, this is a topic that kind of drives me crazy. I hear the phrase all the time, like gun control. Do you know during 9/11 I used to fly corporate jets when they flew those airliners and slammed them into the trade towers? When they opened up the airspace, I didn't look at the co-pilot and say, we need to have a discussion on airplane control or fertilizer truck control or baseball bat control. Now, for example, do you know here in Minnesota there's a company, I'll just call them out, 3D Response Systems, fantastic. A lot of law enforcement experience, very good at schools, and those are the resources we need to be talking to. We need to be utilizing those type of technologies along with data predictive and analytics. Those type of things are out there. As a professor, I use AI right now, and it could be a blessing or a curse. We need to start using these technologies.
Oh, I bet you do. I'm sure you use AI.
Gun-free, you know who loves gun-free zones? Criminals. They love gun-free zones. They don't care, do they? So let's start stocking solutions. Thank you so much.
I'm a constitutional carry proponent, so I would be lying to you if I said anything other than gun-free zones are simply not tenable with our Constitution. I'm going to take some liberties like some of the others did earlier. We have a situation among us. I'm thinking that majority of the room is familiar Republicans, familiar with the process.
Where's this going?
I'm going to ask you to think very carefully and go to my website and read several articles that I've written that challenges the real course of action that we make.
Sir, I don't even know your name.
If you're genuine about winning the governor's office, I'm asking you to read my articles regarding that subject.
Say your website.
You to think about the fact that there are 3.7 million voters in Minnesota, and 0.01% of people representing a state convention is not representation.
Say your website, you dumb shit. Mr.
I
Sprong.
would absolutely sign that bill because all gun-free.
Go to my website. Does not mention the website. I don't know what his name is.
Deranged people to kill people, and that's.
There are mentally deranged people on the stage with you.
Libraries. The Democrats are trying to do that at the Capitol. I have my carry permit. I carry at the Capitol, and I have a right to do that, and it makes it a safer place, not less safe. So we need that. We need that. By the way, that bill's never going through at the.
Leftist, welcome in.
I will get to. We do need solutions, and I'm hearing that too.
Is that Fabio on that commercial?
We also need to hold the criminals accountable, not law-abiding gun owners. I will not support any bill.
It's some kind of Antifa channel that has Fabio up.
Like that. So let's have increased penalties for people who commit violent crimes or any crime with a gun. Let's make sure we get rid of this cashless.
This is BG on the scene, Mercado Media, Watchdog.
Hold the people accountable.
Pretend Media, and they're in Portland here.
That's what we need to do.
This is IRT, and I don't know what that is.
I would definitely sign that bill. We just saw last night where mobs, hordes, rioters seized a federal agent vehicle and yanked the firearms out with a truck and a tow strap.
Oh yeah, last night. That was awesome.
Where I went to school, we had firearms. We had a shooting range in the basement. There were never any school shootings.
Oh, I knew Flash was into
Everybody in
that.
school knew how to shoot back. There's, you got to stop and look. It's predators look for easy prey. If you're armed and you're trained, you're no longer prey. This past summer, I took my 14-year-old daughter out to southern Minnesota so she could spend the afternoon driving Army tanks and shooting belt-fed machine guns and learn all about firearms from the big end. And so I'm pretty sure she enjoyed it.
I would absolutely sign that. And when I think about, as I said earlier, I've always supported our Second Amendment rights. I carried the Stand Your Ground bill and couldn't get any traction with Democrats. I believe that is the right thing to do. When people carry guns, we are safer for it. Every time
This is Minnesota House Speaker Lisa DeMuth.
Additional gun laws, what I try to remind people is criminals in Minnesota do not.
And what I try to remind people is that she can be my GOP mommy.
You think they're going to follow these new laws? All it does is penalize law-abiding citizens that are carrying their guns. As we experienced a tragedy at the end of the summer or the beginning of the fall this year in a school, of course, gun bans were on the table all the time. I sat with the governor, and one of the things I reminded him is my children were in a school that had a tragedy back at the Rocori School 2003. Never once in those meetings did gun control ever come up. It was always mental health and why are people trying to hurt someone else.
We have a coward as a governor. We have a coward as a mayor of Minneapolis, and one as an attorney general. On day one, we will have the Stand Your Ground law. You will be able to protect yourself and your loved ones from a criminal. I'll give you a ticker tape parade if you do it. We have a problem, and it's not a gun problem. We need stronger laws, and we need to put retired vets that are capable and retired police officers at schools and hospitals to protect our children, to make sure that they're safe, protect our doctors and nurses at the hospitals and clinics. We need to make sure that criminals know that you do not mess with Minnesota. Thank you.
This question
triggers me. My wife is here, and
You
we
think we're
have a
stupid?
14,
You think
16-year-old
we're
in public
fools?
schools, and there is nothing worse
Triggered!
than the notion of somebody coming in and harming our daughters in school. Tim Walz signed a school resource officer bill that was so bad that they didn't show up because their use of force guidelines were so vague.
Is that a bear?
When you look at our school counselor to pupil ratio, we're ranked.
This is in Portland.
In the country right now. We're doing literally nothing on this and then leaving our students.
No, that's back to Minnesota.
Protected.
In the big picture.
I am so proud that I have the Minneapolis Police Federation's endorsement, and I have that. Thank you. I have that because cops know that they can trust me. They know that when they look me in the eye, I have their back. We need to have their back, and it includes schools with armed law enforcement officers.
Thank you. Mr. Knight.
All data shows it doesn't make schools safer. It just, creates
question, and
more
it will be 60 seconds.
kid offenders.
It's a really short question, though. How will you support mining in Minnesota?
Well, mining creates
Release
jobs.
the Epstein files.
Sulfide ore mines under development in Minnesota have been stuck in the bureaucratic swamp, so to speak. The Polymet New Range mine, as well as the Twin Metals. Twin Metals is primarily on federal land. The Polymet New Range is on a combination of state and private. The Polymet is, or rather,
I'm probably putting 9mm under my titty.
Concerns with the boundary waters. The boundary waters creates jobs.
Winch.
Well, geez, that one's a little more challenging.
What kind of gun can you fit under your titties?
Thomas Sowell says there's no perfect solution. There's always trade-offs.
Oh my God, he quoted
I think
Sowell.
it's a both and rather than an either or. So I think when there's risk, the risk with sulfur ore mining is that.
Byronic, what do you think you can get under your titties?
So I think we need to create higher standards so that those risks are addressed. But at the same time, we need clear guidelines.
Me, Byronic, and Media Winch. We go small, medium, large titties. I think I can get a 9mm under.
The question of mining is...
Flash, how big are your titties?
We have a long celebrated history in Minnesota of being able to mine successfully and protect our environment. There is no reason to succumb to fear and paranoia that somehow we can't do this. We need to allow the northern part of our state to have an economy that sizzles. If we do that, this
literally everything. You could put a rifle under your titties.
Resources that could help push our state towards growing a much larger economy. Obviously, Nevada with Las Vegas has lots of tourism. Florida does. Each state has an obligation to its citizens to capture and utilize the resources we have. We can mine well, and we can mine safely, and we can protect the environment. It isn't this or this.
You got the Epstein files under those
but
titties?
even more. We can let this be the springboard where
some cat's out here causing some
producing
trouble.
energy,
Let me go see who's
selling
causing
energy,
trouble.
and having cheap energy for all of our citizens.
What I would do is, when I don't know much about anything, I do my due diligence. I don't know much about it. I'm being honest with it. I will go there. I will listen to the people. I will do the due diligence, massive due diligence, and listen, and then make decisions, common sense solutions that make sense. And that's with anything. And I'm not going to sit here and say that I know anything about it right now, because I don't. But I will learn, and I will make good decisions, and that's where I'm at on that.
I'm going to take kind of a slightly different direction on this. I don't know if you know, but early December, Cross Lake Mayor Jackson Perfierst sent a letter to Governor.
This is BB. Or Beavers. She has a nubby tail. Let me see if I can turn her around so you can see her nubby tail. Well, she's upset. Hold on, I gotta let her out of here.
Governor Walz saying that this fraud's out of control and these unfunded mandates, and it's hurting small communities like us. By the time mid-December rolled around, there was about early December, there was 8.
Smokey
other
wasn't
mayors
even being
signed on.
mean, but
Mid-December, that number jumped up to 98. As I speak right now, 241 mayors
Smokey was just saying hi.
signed on to that. Do you know that, for example, the Brainerd taxes are going to go up 8%? Thief River Falls, 20.3%. That's not sustainable. Folks that are on fixed incomes might have to sell their house just to pay their taxes. I give Mayor Jackson Perfeast a lot of credit. I was on the city council. I know what frontline service is. I've never lost that touch, because in politics, the higher you go, the thinner the air gets, and the more you lose a touch with you folks. That never happened to me. So look him up.
Sure, pal.
Jackson Perfeast.
It wasn't BB that was causing trouble, though. There was a rug out there that had been completely crinkled
very
up.
hard at keeping
BB was asleep. I just saw her. It was like, oh, you're cute. I'm going to bring you in here.
We've ever done before. We have technology now that it far exceeds the technology that they've done studies on in the past 30 years. One of the big things to help our mining community
Lumber Kitties is like fitting your palm small.
actually listening.
She's itty bitty Dorothy.
Follow the science. Wouldn't that be amazing if we actually follow the science? Boys are boys and girls are girls.
Brother, I hate to explain this to you, but that's not what the science says.
Institutes that have received grants.
I mean, yes and no. It's more complex than
We're
that.
back to fraud. We're back to a culture that has profited off of lying to you and scaring you half to death about things that are simply not true. That's why windmills will never take off, because they've never been told the truth about windmills.
What?
Would you please repeat that again? I want to target what you
Absolutely.
asked.
Pretty straightforward. It is, how will you support mining in Minnesota?
Thank you. And mining is huge. It's an affordability issue, not just an economic issue for our state. Because what we mine, whether it's precious metals, natural gas, iron ore, affects the cost of housing. And by the way, even our forests, housing, medical equipment, because we need precious metals for that, and energy. And why would we allow the land to be raped in another country when we can do it safely and clean in this area? So what would I do? We need to adjust our permitting even more so it's reliable and predictable for mining companies. And also there's other new things coming in, something called geologic hydrogen. And I've been talking to groups about this newer type of mining. It's just under the surface of our earth. They would like to explore here. It's not just in northern Minnesota, it's in southern Minnesota too. And it's an energy producing item that would be incredibly good for our state. So I'm open to all that and more.
Our state has been promoting, pushing, and steering towards a dependent state. They've been pushing, well, the left anyway, has been pushing to create Minnesota, turn Minnesota into a Marxist welfare state. And
what does that mean?
Combat against dependency is prosperity. One of the things that I agree with is using the resources that we have. Use all the resources that we can get our hands on, whether it's mining, agriculture, everything we have to throw back at it. Because the last thing any of us wanted to do is in the next 10 years is stand in a bread line.
The way that I would support mining is by choosing a commissioner for the DNR and the MP.
Aren't we at like record high for
that would actually understand what we have?
Like
Mining
food
can be done
pantries and soup
safely
kitchens and
here in
shit right
Minnesota
now?
while we are still protecting our environment. I want to give you an example.
Smash, welcome in. No, he says they're native
Our
tattoos.
state needs, but there was a business that wanted to have a soybean crushing facility.
Native.
Because of permitting delays, over 600 days of permitting delays. That business finally chose to move over the border.
She reminds you of my GOP mommy.
And I want to remind everyone here that the wind does blow east. And so those concerns that were there while that business was up and running in North Dakota, that wind blew over here. We need common sense when it comes to commissioners that are going to oversee mining, our natural.
She kind of looks like Mary Catherine Gallagher.
We also need to make sure that it is done safely. I fully support mining.
This one's
Is that who you're thinking of, Smash?
We have a company from Vegas and North Dakota ready to mine, and a DNR commissioner ready to go. We have $3.4
Hey, do not resuscitate, Commissioner.
billion in the ground up there of lithium, cobalt, oil, silver, gold, helium, nickel, copper. That's our money, and we can't let it go. That's going to create 200 more.
That's an insult to Molly Shannon.
jobs, $60 billion in tax revenue to the state. Not to mention we have oil down there, $3 trillion. Now with the mine, we have about 70 years of mining and 30 years of oil. We can rebuild this state with the deficit that our leaders have left us and set the tone right for the next generations. We can bring 100,000 jobs to the state of Minnesota in the next 2 years. Thank you.
Now that Smash is here, we're going to have to get high.
This is the first time Brad's ever been right in his
Dolly Eving Parton.
You know I love you. You know I love you. This is not just, we're not just sitting on these trillions of dollars. This is also a national security issue. We're getting all of these metals, cobalt, nickel, copper. These are about 80% of these are being processed right now in China. If we take that back, just on copper alone, we're talking about 30% of the world's returns in Minnesota right now. We could take over this. We could create jobs. I'll make sure that Brad's company gets one. Elon Musk, they're sure. But we need to start taking this back in order to protect our.
I don't think that's a good thing.
And if we're talking about
fuck you and your cronyism,
that people are actually concerned about this, are you really honestly thinking that China is going to do that better than we are? I mean, that's ridiculous. Do it here.
This is a very, very important question. And there's snippets of a big picture here from all of the different answers that you've been given. But one of the biggest issues is that when this state, the DFL, when you have such a significant
this guy's the anti-racist
Democrats, Socialists of America, believe them. Socialists are anti-capitalist. They don't want
yes.
They don't want all of this free market enterprise.
No, we're okay with mining. We just think the people should own the resources, especially when it comes to something like a natural resource.
The Iron Range open. They won't do it if they have one seat advantage in any of the chambers.
I don't think you know what socialism means.
Up in the 8th Congressional District. I actually visited and met with the general manager of the Twin City Mines. We have a state problem with permitting. What I want to do, I traveled the country, and one of the jobs I had was in Colorado with Medtronic. And
well, hello, Dolly.
To bring some of those professors, bring them our own school of mining and put it in Duluth.
Thank you. Dr. Jensen, you will be starting with a 30-second question. It's a two-part question. What should Minnesota income tax rate be, and would you sign a bill to eliminate the property tax in Minnesota?
The Minnesota property tax cannot be eliminated. We've got.
I'm sorry, I was muted. Yes, these are all live here. This is live from Minnesota. This one, this one.
Tax values at a certain.
This one is in Portland.
Be thrown from their homes because their property taxes didn't stop. Fixed income for 65 and above is fixed income. So let's deal with that. In terms of what our income tax should be, they should be less. We should simplify it. You should not have to pay $1,000 to an accountant to do your taxes. So they should all be less. Two brackets, probably somewhere around 3% and 6%.
I absolutely would, but only after I see that the welfare programs I told you before, that you eliminate that you have all this money, and I'll be the most transparent governor you ever seen. You will all know that's working and who deserves the money more than you all. If you can get rid of them property taxes, great. If you can get rid of our income tax, great. You get rid of sales tax, great. But the money's got to come from somewhere, and those programs, you have to either eliminate them or you have to fix them. And that's what I will do. You all know when we can do that, and I will do it at that time.
Yes, he's polling third in the GOP primary.
I think a lot of things that have
Minnesota governor
to actually occur. But remember when I said earlier, there's two things in this state. Is Minnesota does not have a problem.
It's a distant third. He doesn't really have a chance.
All they do is they tax you to death. A wise person, maybe he was an economist, I don't know, said this years ago. The gap between more, I wish I had enough hands here, more and enough never closes. More, enough. That gap never closes.
You can hear the Pavlovian bell in the background.
So there's
telling them
plenty
to
of
spout
states
some
in the
capitalist
United States
propaganda.
that,
Ding.
deal with this problem very well. So you can't have both anymore. We as citizens, we've had it. We've had enough. It's one or the other. If you're going to tax us to death in our income, you can't have our property tax. If you're going to tax us on our property tax, you can't have our income tax. There's lots of states in the union that are doing it and doing it well. It can be done. I would sign no property tax.
I think that's the bell for their time, but it seems to go off at odd times.
Here are my plans to significantly lower property taxes, schools, counties, cities. Number one, get rid of every unfunded and underfunded mandate on those entities. That's half or more of your property taxes. Number two, as a governor, I will not sign any bill that has an unfunded mandate on our cities, our schools, or our counties. That's just plain wrong.
Just plain wrong.
Well, as Republicans, we're expected to be the ones of fiscal responsibility. And being the fiscally responsible people, I don't think that eliminating property tax would be responsible. However, I would like to see less taxes for elderly, seniors, or veterans. And those are things I would definitely consider.
A couple of these people look like they'd be villains in a
I would
DC
definitely
movie.
end the tax on Social Security.
This is Lisa
the personal
DeMuth.
income tax, lower the corporate income
She's
tax
polling
rate.
number two and just barely number two. It's a neck and neck race
Bill that would have an unfunded
with her and the
mandate.
black dude.
I wouldn't say no to property taxes. That is a local control issue. But at a state level, we need to make it easier for our schools, our cities, and our townships to afford what they need.
I have a solid crawl, walk, run plan to start with zero business taxes and inflate our economy more with more businesses, lower income tax by 25%, lower car tabs from $99 and less, and of course, reduce property tax 25% in my first year alone, and continue from there as the revenue streams continue to grow in Minnesota. There is a solid plan. We can do it. I would sign that bill.
I talked about property tax already. I also think that we can go back to the 2014 idea of limiting it to 3%. Totally agree with Brad. We need to go back to the Ventura license tabs. It's insane every year that we're buying our car over and over again. With respect to income taxes, as a lawyer, I'll tell you, it's a scam. It's a scam for lawyers and accountants. The more that we can simplify this and just get to 3 brackets of just quick, like 1 page with respect to taxes, get rid of all these deductions, get rid of all these things, and make it as basic as possible.
Well, we're in a situation in this state where the national economy is growing, but we're declining. We have to do it, again, I hate to call it a Texas two-step. I'm tired of those guys.
This is a guy polling in first.
Really. We grow our economy,
Kendall Qualls.
lower taxes, make it affordable for young people to get started in life and for seniors. And we do that by
eliminating property taxes on those that are 65 and older, eliminating Social Security tax, and also property taxes on veterans, and also the rate of increase of property tax we can eliminate as well. The rate of increase, we can reduce that.
Well, income tax penalizes hard work, entrepreneurship, and investment. So all the states around us are growing. All the high growth states are reducing their income taxes. They're expanding their general tax, sales tax base, but reducing those and then relying on property taxes. I think we can do a hybrid of that. Reduce the property taxes or rather the income taxes over time to a flat rate based on meeting certain triggers. Expand the sales tax, but increase the working family credit so it's not regressive, and then cap property tax growth at the state level.
Thank you, everyone. And we are on to the final question, number 12. And it's a very important question.
Fucking finally!
Myself, who has 2 small children. It's a 60-second question, and we'll start with Mr. Lindell. Do you support school vouchers? Would you sign a school voucher bill into law? And what dollar amount should each voucher be per student if you support vouchers?
I absolutely support vouchers, and I did a lot of stuff in Detroit with charter schools, and we have to have alternatives. That's what we've gone from, 6 down.
I'm sure he's done a lot of stuff in Detroit.
Our education. And
I was on crack.
as far as the amount, I don't know that. I would have to, once again, I would have to do my due diligence, and I would make that as high as possible. And because it's so important, our children are everything. Our education is everything. And it is terrible right now that we're just doing a nosedive in Minnesota. And so I guess, yes, I absolutely would. And I would want to have people have their own options of what they want to do with their children. But you also have to go to the public schools too, and we need to fix that. That's one of the things I'm going to hit head on is the teachers union and the teachers, and get it back to parents and teachers, the PTA meetings, and take and try and get in the schools, get the rules back, get people that they can discipline the kids in, so you don't have all these regulations, and get rid of those too.
I've done a lot of things in life, being from an airline pilot to mechanic, university professor, but I also taught at a private Christian school, middle school and high school. Also, I was on that school board. I was a school board chair. We got zero public dollars in terms of tuition, things of that nature. Yes, I would 100% support vouchers. What I see in a lot of our schools, and not all of our public schools, I'm not anti-public school, is there's not education going on, there's indoctrination. Gender pronouns, drag queens in schools, and the list goes on.
Jesus, dude.
Mississippi has done so much better than we have. We got to change that big time.
It's wild you should mention Mississippi, where rampant fraud has been going on. They've been giving Brett Favre and the $1 Million Man millions of dollars in money meant for underprivileged kids.
A few years ago, very impressed what I saw at that school. They're really trying to get those kids, those juniors and seniors. There's some great programs, auto body mechanics, that type of thing, and get them jobs, nursing assistants. So there's hope there. Yes, I'm 100% for vouchers.
The money will follow the child. Public, private, charter, the money will follow the child. We have a lot. Thank you. We have a lot of very, very good people here in Minnesota that work very hard and do wonderful things with children. I'm the executive administrator of Divine Mercy Catholic Church and Schools. To run our program, it's approximately between $8,000 and $9,000 per student to run.
I know what Catholics have been doing with children.
As a former teacher and principal and director of education in many different districts in the state, the rate to run a program varies throughout the state, but there's
oh yeah, Dolly, that's exactly what they're wanting to do. They're wanting to funnel tax money into private schools,
a lot of
into other
decision-making
ancillary programs.
Correct. This is
that are for profit.
I got 5 seconds. God bless you. The money follows.
Break the public schools. Make sure that poor kids have nowhere to go.
Education is success. It's opportunity. And it's a crying shame that less than half of our kids in this state can read at grade level. And math and science are even worse. As a former teacher of 33 years, I taught first graders how to read, and I did it.
No, it is debated that private
Right
schools
now,
get better
things are
education.
not working. It's very obvious. We need
Okay, the federal agents are
whether it's vouchers,
amassing again. They're putting a line together.
we have to do it smartly, because if we don't, it could put constraints on
What we found with private schools is that they self-select
the way they want to teach. So every school needs to, or every student, every family should have the.
Sorry to talk over the candidates here. When you have a private school or a charter school or something like that, what you find is that the students that cost more to educate get weeded out. They don't get to go to the private school. The private school denies them because they can deny whoever the fuck they want. What we have found is that parent participation in student education is a huge factor in students succeeding. Clearly, that's a correlation thing, right? Parents that are really involved are going to have better students. And that they tend to, get selected at private schools, whereas poorer kids, disadvantaged kids don't. And therefore, you don't have them dragging down the curb as you would in a public school. A fully funded public school performs just as well as a private school if you control for that data.
Opportunity to put their
Well, the problem with
where that child
public schools are shitty because they don't have proper funding.
that family has, and what a better way to do it than allowing an educational savings account or whichever venue we choose to let families make that decision. And lastly, a good way to get our public schools to get up to par and get rid of all the garbage that's being taught right now.
These are some of the dumbest people I've ever heard.
Is the one tool each and every.
And they're attacking education
to change our stars, to create our own destiny. Again, I'm not the all-American golden boy. I'm not the.
Okay, really not liking what the federal agents are doing down here in the bottom corner.
However,
they seem to be advancing on protesters currently.
Knew that was one tool I would always have as a value, as
holy shit
in my life, to have that in my tool chest. I've gone to a lot of different disadvantaged communities, and the thing that I saw different in everybody was you could tell.
So they just grabbed the first dude they could and threw him to the ground.
Living in a urban environment, disadvantaged community, and you look at a child from the same community that had opportunities to different forms of education, and you could see them excel and do something different with their lives.
Kids of Minnesota deserve an excellent education. That is what we used to be known
Dolly, there
for,
have been
and
multiple
that is
school
not
shootings
where we
at
find ourselves
private
today,
schools.
with only half of our kids
Just the Nashville Covenant
the
School off
ability
the
to
top of
read.
my head.
I support education choice. I would also support us as a state right now, when we go back to session in February, opting into the education tax credit of $1,700 that is available through the One Big Beautiful Bill, but Minnesota has to opt into that. At a minimum, an excellent education is what will prepare our kids for their future, whether they go into the trades, a university, or into the workforce. That is what they deserve, and that is
So
what
you were
Minnesota
seeing
is
federal agents
dependent on.
live in
Having
Minneapolis,
kids that are prepared
outside of the Whipple,
not out protesting,
federal
not
building.
failing in school. I will also make sure that state tax dollars don't go continuous to continually failing schools, but rewarding those that are doing the best with their outcomes for kids.
I think we should dial it back a little bit and bring vocational schooling back to our schools for the trades. I think that we need to cash incentivize teachers to raise the standards of our education right now that's doing so poorly. I think the money should follow the kids wherever they go, including private schools. And I want to say that we have a great group of people up here on this board, on this table here. And if elected to governor, I would gladly bring them with me and have a great team to lead the state.
New York ranked 17th in education in the country.
Great group of people, and we need to team up.
New Jersey actually ranks first in education.
Thank you.
Right now, Minnesota is ranked 39th in fourth grade literacy. Mississippi is 9th.
New York is ranked number 8 in the country for grade school education.
Now they're beating us. It's just reality. We need to do, and I totally believe in competition. If there is one thing that we have shown throughout history is that when people compete, things get better. I'm old enough to remember when Rudy Perpich did the open enrollment back in 1987, and the world
our country is fucked because people like you will proclaim
40% of
I've seen a lot of evidence of that. You're gonna deny that, and then I can look up actual evidence.
I am literally in favor of
and tell you that New York ranks
going to have the
8th
slightest improvement in education right now.
in education in the. Oh, I'm on the wrong screen right now.
We're failing our kids, and frankly,
ranks 8th in
cities and the public schools.
Grade school education, 17th overall.
Hurting kids, so we got to stop.
And you can't accept that you were wrong.
I'm going to answer that question pretty.
You have to be like, wow, our country is fucked.
This is happening. So yes, I would sign vouchers.
Josephus, welcome.
Right now, our budget in education is one of the highest.
You tried to say that New York had poor education, and I proved you wrong.
Less results than we ever have in the history of the state, and it's deliberate. Right now, this teachers union, they've waived it so that our kids can be in virtual education so they can protest what's going on with the DIH. Really, when our marks are at the lowest level they've been in the history,
I mean, it has way better education than Tennessee, Alabama, Louisiana, Mississippi, Arkansas.
6 years ago, my wife and I were traveling.
Why the fuck are you talking about New York?
Minnesotans, that this whole ethnic studies DEI was a Trojan horse using black Americans and the disparities that are out there to justify this ethnic studies and DEI.
This is the guy that is leading,
and they're doing it on purpose.
In the GOP gubernatorial race, Kendall Qualls. He's just barely leading over Lisa DeMuth.
2 in college, 2 still in Minnesota public schools, and we take education very seriously. So I would support a voucher program, start with targeted vouchers for students who are being failed by the system. I would sign the Educational Choice for Children's Act, which is the $1,700.
Dolly, you would know what an anecdotal fallacy was if you were educated, but you don't. Your personal experiences aren't evidence of anything, and you could have biases that you're confirming.
That we put completion over mastery. We put participation over mastery. That's the philosophy in the school. We need to reverse that. Put mastery back on.
Well, you kind of came in here with an attitude.
To the teachers, allow discipline, go back to core curricula.
Because you kind of came in here with an attitude. Spouting some bullshit.
At the age of 3rd grade how to read so they can read how to learn.
I am kind of hostile to bad arguments and stupid propaganda.
Parents, and get rid of ethnic studies.
Okay, you said New Yorkers are stupid. Why would you come in here and insult New Yorkers? For what reason? Why do you feel that?
Follow the kids. But we need to do it in such a way that we also support our public schools. We should not give up just because we're struggling. We should.
Why do you hate America?
Back into that top 10, and we can do that. So, without question, protect the public schools, but we have to have the money follow.
Do you know that that's the dumbest thing to say? That's just a stereotype on your part.
With the teachers union,
it makes me think that you have some sort of stupid bias against people in the city, and you think you're all uppity and better than everybody. So check your fucking attitude.
They span from 15 years of age to 45 years of age. That span, these people are the ones who are parenting today.
Then you have no room to talk about anything. Being from fucking Arizona, the armpit of America.
Millennials and Gen Zs to raise families. We need to make it cool to have families again. Millennials and Gen Zs are seeing a different world than what we saw. We need to do more for the millennials and Gen Zs. It's the way that Republicans can win in 2026 by building a bigger tent.
Shit is really starting to pop off
First of
in
all, I would like to
Minnesota
thank
right
all
now.
of the candidates and give them another round of applause.
Brother, you're the one coming in here trying to make enemies of people in New York. I have friends that live in New York.
And want to remind you,
why are you coming in here throwing around your hatred
as quickly as possible, and
then wondering why you get pushback?
There are ushers on both sides that are going to collect them in the boxes and be ready to count. This is the end of the debate, and I appreciate all of you.
And you think they're stupid, right?
Thank you. I did all right. Roll, here you go. You were asking if I could give that back to you, so. Yep, thanks. Just a quick announcement for everybody. Somebody donated a $50 bill, and unfortunately, currently under campaign finance law, whoever did that, we need to have you fill out some paperwork with with the treasurer so that we can follow campaign finance laws. Thank you.
God damn it, how'd I get muted again? Okay, so I have the results from the straw poll from the debate tonight. Do you guys have any guesses as to who do you think won the debate? Anybody have an opinion on who you think won the debate? Since I've seen the straw poll, I kind of don't want to put my 2 cents in. I think Lisa DeMuth won just because she's my GOP mommy. Mike Pillow, you think Mike Pillow won? I'll let you get your answers in. According to the straw poll, Lisa DeMuth wins with 26%. She is the black-haired lady that was the head of the Minnesota House GOP Republicans. She's the Speaker of the House. Chris Maddle, I don't even know which one that was. Oh my God, that's the weird-looking dude that we thought looked like a sleep paralysis demon. How in the fuck?
With the treasurer so that we can...
This dude right here. That guy came in second in the straw poll. Kendall Quells, that was the black guy that I kept calling the anti-racist. He came in third. It's kind of a close race between them. Mike Lindell coming in fourth in this when he came in third in the other straw poll. Undecided, beating out most of the other candidates. Dolly, would you like to have a conversation before I get to the news? We're going to cover the news. I'll open the phone lines for you. You seem like a nice person. Perhaps we've had a misunderstanding. (917-830-4359) Is it not working? I meant to redo everything. I will try to do that this weekend. Discord? Absolutely. That should be a working Discord link, right, everybody? Yeah, that's a working Discord link. Just go to the voice channel. Let's have a civil conversation. There is a debate freaking channel. You can just hop in there. Check. I don't know if my microphone's correct there. Yeah, there we go. Check. Okay, talk for me again. Hold on 1 second. Give me 1 second here. I just need to change something. I can't hear you just yet. Okay, we should be able to hear you now. You with me, my friend? Dolly, talk to us. Oh, that's weird. Hold on 1 sec. Okay, now try it. Talk to us. God damn it! Hold on 1 sec. Well, like I'm having an issue with Okay, now I should have your audio.
Okay, so you can hear me now.
Yeah, we got you now. How are you, my friend?
Okay, cool. That was getting a little tiresome.
I'm sorry. There's
make my words a little more elementary.
There's been an issue with like OBS since I updated things. Dolly, good evening, my friend. How are you?
Good evening. Thank you for inviting me onto whatever this was.
Well, let's clear. This is the Troll Patrol live.
Oh, okay, so you caught one. Okay, cool. So, what subject are we talking about here?
What were we discussing in the chat that you?
Why I don't like this New York? Why I don't like New York?
I mean, it's okay to not like New York, but like you're calling New Yorkers stupid and being like, oh, why are you guys attacking me? You see what I'm saying?
I don't know. Well, see. All right, so I guess my position on this is just that I guess I'm kind of somebody who consumes a lot of YouTube content, and I have also traveled a lot.
That is not good. That is not good.
So when I say YouTube content, I mean like street interviews, like just people asking random questions, and there's no like obviously there's bias behind the questions that they're asking, but the questions that they're asking are very
brother, but there's sampling bias of who they're choosing. It's who decides actually, like, it's predominantly stupid people to come up. What they actually edit and show you is predominantly going to be the stupidest people, because that's what makes for the best content and shit. Like, YouTube is poisonous, man. Read some fucking books.
That's fair. That's fair. And I will say that when I was in New York recently, I saw a lot of, women that like are very easy, like they're very easy to get, like if you wanted to. So
I don't think you could get them, sir.
You don't think I could get them if I was in New York?
No. Well,
maybe I could.
Are you talking about prostitutes?
I mean, not all of them. Not all of them. I mean, not all.
Are you talking about you saw streetwalkers or something? Like, why would you think women just looked easy to you? That's a weird thing to say.
Well, I mean, if they're dressing like whores.
What does that mean, dressing like whores?
like if I can see their bras through their shirt, or I can like, or they're wearing little mini skirts, or like they're practically naked. I don't know. I've seen that a lot in New York, more than I've seen that in anywhere else. Just walking down the streets when I was like.
Well, there's a lot of clubs in New York.
Okay, I know, and that probably influenced my decision on if I thought that like the young women there were stupid, because I probably influenced by social media to make, bad decisions. Like
you're the one influenced by social media. You're telling me that you consume a lot of YouTube and it colors your biases, and yet you're judging other people for, they're influenced by. I think that's called projection, right?
No, but I think that I can do that, and that it can also happen. Like
as
I
somebody,
think that
okay,
we're all doing that. Like I'm sure you do that sometimes. Like it's not just like a problem that only
I'm pretty conscious of my biases. But okay. So a lot of my female companions throughout my life would probably be labeled easy by you. And I don't.
I mean, if I saw them walking down the street and I could see their, like, if they're wearing a white shirt and a pink bra, and I can just see the bra, and like I can see their stomach piercing, I probably think they're easy, like a whore. Like I wouldn't date them. You know what I'm saying? Like,
brother, they wouldn't touch you with a 10-foot pole. These are baddies,
dude,
man.
I know, but that's okay. I know, but listen. I'm not like trying to discuss that. That's not the root of the argument, right? The root of the argument is.
I think that's
ugly, right?
Okay, so there have been multiple times that there have been like right-wing,
to be honest, dude,
right-wing groups that have
you're
gotten
like a
together.
4 compared to like me being like, if you're a 10, I'm like a 20, 25. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not great looking. But like, if you got girls that I would consider whores, it just doesn't make sense to me, because like I'm way better looking than you, and I have the option to get them if I wanted. So like,
okay. First of all, I'm starting to get a little old, and I do cultivate this look. But brother, I was the news director of 9 radio stations, and I looked like a
you
motherfucking.
Probably were really good looking in your
I
young
had
age,
a suit and tie and short hair, and I
you know what?
looked
You probably
fucking
would've been right there with me,
amazing.
and we would have.
You probably are very much.
Never mind.
You're very much overestimating yourself, my friend.
No, I'm just saying, like, objectively, I'm a lot more attractive than you. Like, I don't need to like be like.
Well, first of all, that is not something that can be objective.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Of course it is. Yes,
Fucking,
it is. Come on, dude.
No, because attractiveness is a subjective thing. It is not objective. There is no objective attractiveness.
I'm not saying I'm like super attractive. I'm just saying you're not like. I know this kind of hurts your feelings. I'm kind of being a dick for saying this, but
you don't. You're not gonna hurt my feelings. But you look really fucking stupid right now.
Why? Because I'm saying you're not attractive. I'm just stating.
My chat would disagree with you. Multiple people in my chat would definitely disagree with you.
Okay, so if you had to rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you rate yourself?
I don't think I'm all that attractive.
Objective.
A 6.
Well, then
but that's not objective.
What are we even arguing about?
That's not objective.
I'm like a 7, bro. I'm a 7.5 probably, or an 8. I don't know.
You're probably overestimating yourself.
No, I'm not, dude. I'm being generous. Trust me. But still.
Oh my god, bro.
Bro, I don't know what you want me to say. I've just been honest with you the whole time I've been.
You are objectively better looking than me. I can bring a woman in here and let her judge if you want to throw up a picture.
We can talk. We can keep talking about this.
Byronic, would you like to judge? But you would probably call Byronic a whore and think she's easy, even though she would never in a million years give you the time of day.
Well, she's probably not a whore. I don't know if she. I'm just saying that, like, I wouldn't want to date a girl if I
she
saw
was
her
a
on the
stripper,
street with nothing on.
So you probably
I would never date a girl that was a stripper. Yeah,
she would never mess with you. She would never in a million years consider you.
Yes, she would, dude. Come on. Like, I know she would, but like, come on. Let's. I don't want to talk about that anymore because.
Oh my God, brother! No. No,
But
no.
she
How
totally
old are
would.
you?
Yes, she would.
How old are you?
Dude, I'm 28. I'm 28.
That's kind of surprising to me because you talk like you're a fucking teenager.
Dude, I don't know what to tell you.
Are you married?
No, I'm not married.
Do you have a girlfriend?
Do not have a girlfriend. No. Sadly, I don't have a girlfriend.
Sadly, you don't have a girlfriend. Brother, I'm turning down
wait,
pussy.
hold on. Is this like
I'm turning down dick. I'm
psychological
turning down bussy.
Dude, I didn't want you to be my enemy, bro. Like you didn't. We could have been friends, but like
We are friends, okay? We are friends, but like you don't,
I don't like.
you
girls
don't
that
see
dress
the
provocatively,
air
I
of
get it.
superiority
You don't
that
have
you're
to, like,
coming
hate
in
me
with,
because of that
and you're
like,
wondering
attack
why
me
you're getting
because I don't
pushback.
like provocative women. I'm just saying, like, it's an opinion that people have. You don't have to like hate somebody personally because
I didn't
that
say
opinion.
I
Like,
hated
it's a
you,
fair
did I?
opinion. It's a fair opinion. that a
You
lot
make
of
it
people
your
probably have.
personality to be against these women, and you took my pushback on that as a slight at you personally. Okay, the chat wants to know if you're a virgin.
No, I'm not a fucking virgin. What the fuck?
I don't know that we believe you.
28, dude. I don't know, man. I don't know what to tell you, dude. You guys get some weird questions just because you got a bunch of virgins in your chat.
You're coming in here talking about. I would doubt that people in my chat are virgins, but you're coming in here talking about how like you're objectively more attractive than me and shit. Let me tell you, do you
Dude,
know
I'm
what
sorry
women,
that offended you.
brother? It didn't offend me, and because here's the thing: is I know I'm not
But
the
you're
greatest
getting
looking
kind
guy.
of old, man.
But here's
Like,
the
and you're
thing:
not the greatest looking guy.
here's the thing. Do you know what women actually do find attractive? And I try to tell this to incels. I try to give people pointers.
Okay.
What
Okay, I
women
know, I
actually find
understand, but I'm
attractive
saying-
is confidence.
Wait. I understand. Yes, mental stuff.
Confidence.
Physical.
The way you
physically,
carry
okay.
yourself.
Physically.
I have been on stage since I was like in 5th grade.
Okay.
I've always had a really cool fucking job, like radio DJ.
I think 100%. Okay, I think 100% to almost every woman out there, you are way more attractive mentally. Like, but when it comes to physical traits,
Oh, probably
no.
because
But,
like you've got little dick energy going on, and I've got big swinging.
I don't have a little dick
energy.
either, dude. I don't even know what to tell you. Like, you can't even get me there either. I would tell you if I had a little dick, I would own it, but I don't. So I don't know. It's like a little bit bigger than 7 inches, which is probably bigger than yours. So it probably hurts to hear, but. It's the
Oh
truth.
my god! And now he's telling me that his dick is bigger than mine.
Maybe, I don't know. It feels pretty big. It looks pretty big. Shit.
Yeah, now we gotta see your dick. Byronic.
You gotta see my dick too?
Byronic and I wanted to do this show where we did dick ratings. Can you be our first? Will you? We have a not safe for work.
Wait, I
Put
thought we were
dick
talking
pics-
about New York.
Put dick pics
This
here.
actually kind of fits in.
Well,
with,
this
like,
is
New
this
York,
is way
like, the
more
whole
interesting
landscape
now.
and, like,
Please show us your dick.
Now we're into the New York back room sniffing cocaine off the strippers' asses. Right?
Please
You know?
show us. Well, that sounds like that's just a normal Tuesday for me.
Now
Please
we
show
got
us your
into the
dick.
real stuff.
We want to see your dick,
Trust me,
man.
I don't need to. You can.
Mine's I'll show you mine. Will that make you feel better?
Is it big?
I mean, it's pretty.
No, come on. I wouldn't want to see it then.
I've
Just
said,
fucking-
oh my god.
Maybe if
So
it was like really
you,
big, I'd be
you're a
like,
size
oh,
queen, is
cool,
what you're
cool cotton, bro.
saying. You're a size queen.
I mean, I don't want. Nobody likes looking at small dicks, but like, I mean, if I seen a big dick, I wouldn't be like.
Are you
be like,
bisexual?
haha, either. That's funny. No, but like, I've seen a lot of dicks, and they don't really offend me or turn me off. I just kind of like, ha, or like, yeah, that's a dick, but like, you know.
You can call a dick nice if you think a dick is nice.
I mean, yeah. If a dick is nice, I'll call it nice. Sure. Doesn't make me gay though.
Do you want to put
objectively
the
nice
nice dick
dicks
in
too,
your
right?
mouth though? That makes you gay. Or bi. You could be bi or like I am pansexual. I lost him. I'm sorry I ran you. Was that a touchy subject? Put it in my mouth. I said my motherfucking mouth. You just made everybody in chat think you want to put dicks in your mouth. You feel like I'm a little bit emotional. I mean, if that emotion is fucking hysterics, then yeah. He can't talk. He's busy with dicks in his mouth.
I can't wait to have your cock in my mouth. I'm going to give you the blowjob of your life. Then I want you inside of me.
What are you talking about? Brother, I don't mind saying I want cocks in my mouth. I like cocks. Cocks are... It's okay. See, I think you've got some issues, my friend. That's what we got going on here. You're repressed. Do you know what Grindr is? You can do really good. Oh my god. I mean, if you, okay, you want to talk about New York. You want to talk about why you hate New York. I've never been. I can't tell you like whether New York is good or bad from personal experience. Looks like a beautiful city. I've got friends there. It's the media capital of the world. I'm a broadcasting buff. Well, I mean, I didn't expect it was very off the cuff, Dolly. No, I don't think so, Flash. I think it came from a rap song where a dude is using like it's a 6-7 code for the cops. Come back and tell us why you hate New York. I find it odd that you'd be so up in arms about New York. I don't know, I just got off topic. You said you were more attractive than me. If you hadn't pulled that kind of shit, do you think I would have doubled down? Did I ask whether I thought you were more attractive than me or not? Did I? What? Chat, did I ask him about my looks? Was I like, do you think I'm sexy? Come on, sugar, let me know. I did? I asked you if you thought I was sexy. I'm high as shit, guys. I don't think that's how that went, but I can't disprove it. Can I go back on my own video? Hold on. Oh, hold on. I got the wrong browser. Let's roll the tape. Can I go back on my own video? Hold on.
What the fuck? I'm saying you're not a mini skirts.
People, because that's what makes...
Like, just...
Dolly, talk to us. Okay, now I should have your audio.
Okay, so you can hear me now.
Okay, here we go. From the beginning. Yeah, we got you now. How are you, my friend?
Okay, cool. That was getting a little tiresome.
I'm
Probably,
sorry. There's
make my words a little more elementary.
There's been an issue with like OBS since I updated things. Dolly, good evening, my friend. How are you? See, I'm being friendly.
Good evening. Thank you for inviting me onto whatever this was.
Well, let's clear.
Or,
This is
like,
the Troll Patrol live.
Oh, okay, so you caught one. Okay, cool. So, what subject are we talking about here?
What were we discussing in the chat that you
why
were...
I don't like New York? Why I don't like New York?
Well, I mean, it's okay to not like New York, but like you're calling New Yorkers stupid and being like, oh, why you guys attacking me? You see what I'm saying?
I don't know. Well, see. All right, so I guess my position on this is just that I guess I'm kind of somebody who consumes a lot of YouTube content, and I have also traveled
That is
a lot.
not good. That is not good. Not good.
So when I say YouTube content, I mean like street interviews.
Read some fucking books.
Like just people asking random questions.
Watch me read some books.
Like obviously there's bias behind the questions that they're asking, but the questions that they're asking are very
Brother, but there's sampling bias of who they're choosing. It's who decides actually, like, it's predominantly stupid people to come up. What they actually edit and show you is predominantly going to be the stupidest people because that's what makes for the best content and shit. Like, YouTube is poisonous,
Okay.
man. Read some fucking books.
That's fair. That's fair. And I will say that when I was in New York recently, I saw a lot of, women that, like, are very easy, like they're very easy to get, like if you wanted to. So
I don't think you could, sir.
You don't think I could get them if I was in New York?
No. Well,
maybe
I mean,
maybe I could.
Are you talking about prostitutes?
I mean, not all of them. Not all of them. I mean, not all.
Are you talking about like you saw streetwalkers or something? Like why would you think women just looked easy to you? That's a weird thing to say.
Well, I mean, if they're dressing like whores.
What does that
and,
mean,
like,
dressing like whores?
Like if I can see their bras through their shirt, or I can or they're wearing little mini skirts, or like they're practically naked. I don't know. I've seen that a lot in New York, more than I've seen that in anywhere else. Just walking down the streets when I was like.
Well, there's a lot of clubs in New York.
Okay, I know, and that probably influenced my decision on if I thought that like the young women there were stupid, because they're probably influenced by social media to make, bad decisions. Like
You're the one
dressing like a
influenced by
whore.
social media. You're telling me that you consume a lot of YouTube and it colors your biases. And yet you're
Okay, yeah, that's
judging
fair.
other
That's
people
fair.
for they're influenced by. I think that's called projection, right?
No, but I think that I can do that, and that it can also happen. Like
'Cause
I
as
think
somebody-
that
okay.
we're all doing that. Like you, I'm sure you do that sometimes. Like it's not just like a problem that only I have.
I'm pretty
It's like a
conscious of my
human nature
biases.
problem.
But okay. So a lot of my female companions throughout my life would probably be labeled easy by you. And I mean,
if I saw them walking down the street and I could see if they're wearing a white shirt and a pink bra, and I can just see the bra and I
Why?
can see their.
Seems very specific.
I probably think they're easy, like a whore. Like I wouldn't date them. You know what I'm saying? Like
Brother, they
because
wouldn't
I
touch you
don't-
with a 10-foot pole. These are baddies,
Dude,
man.
I know, but that's okay. I know, but listen. I'm not like trying to discuss that. That's not the root of the argument, right? The root of the argument is.
I
not
think
that
that's
I'm
a
ugly, right? The root of
okay.
the argument
So
is that,
there have been multiple times that there have been like right wing,
to be honest, dude, you're
right wing
you're
groups that have
you're
gotten
like
to
a
get.
4 compared to like me being like, if you're a 10, I'm like a 20.
See, you called me a 4, and then you said if I'm a 10, you're a 20. No one brought up looks except you, and you asserted that you were twice as handsome as me. So no, I did not ask you about my attractiveness. No, you couldn't get them. You could not land a baddie like that. That is a fact. Do you have a girlfriend? No, you do not. You're not married. You want to be married, right? See, I don't want to be married. I've been single my entire life. Because I like having sex with lots of different women and men, I've remained single. Because it's hard to commit to somebody unless they also want to have sex with lots of, different women and men. So, yeah, like, you just came in and you were really negative towards people that you don't even know. You were stereotyping people. Like, oh, there's all these whores in New York City. It's odd to me. I don't have to deal with anything. I think you're probably a loser, my friend. I hate that for you. But hey, stick around, watch the Troll Patrol, and maybe you won't be so much of a loser. As I said, I will teach you, man. Women like confidence. They like talent. Don't be mediocre white man. The key to getting laid is not to be a mediocre white man. Yeah, well, especially when it comes to women, yeah, absolutely. I would guarantee that I was to take you to a club, you couldn't walk up on a baddie. You would shit your pants before you go talk to a woman, yep. No, I wouldn't. Oh, yeah, come up overconfident when it comes to shit you don't know about, actually. I'll give them that. Okay, let's do a little news, and then we're gonna get the fuck out of here. We'll check in with Minneapolis before we do. Let's start off. Another shooting has taken place.
White House tonight as the president threatens to bring the U.S. military to Minnesota to protect federal agents doing immigration operations. Look at this from last night in North Minneapolis, where emotions erupted when a federal agent shot a man in the leg while making an arrest. DHS says the agent was being attacked and defended himself. We saw fire being launched by demonstrators, snowballs being thrown, and we heard a lot of whistles blowing and people yelling. Law enforcement responded with tear gas and rubber bullets. We saw people taken away in handcuffs, but we have not been able to confirm how many arrests were made in North Minneapolis last night. Homeland Security says agents were trying to arrest this man, Julio Cesar Sosa Celis. They say he took off after an attempted traffic stop, crashed near North 24th Avenue and 6th Street, then tried to run away.
Hey, Dolly, T-minus is great people. No, you should take T-minus up on... T-minus is the fucking salt of the earth. And you should take T-minus up on the offer to go have a good time in Mexico.
DHS says a scuffle ensued involving the agent.
It would be the absolute best time of your life, I guarantee it.
That's when the agent fired, striking Sosa.
That's a weird thing to say.
Reporter Brittany Ehrman was there last night to witness all of it. And she returned today and talked with Nick.
No, I am... Dolly, my friend, I am telling you, I'm not fucking with you. T-minus is like the nicest goddamn person on the planet and would show you a really good time. And like T-minus is honestly being sincere. I am like mind blown by the way you were behaving.
New reaction from the White House tonight as the president threatens to bring the U.S. military to Minnesota to protect federal agents doing immigration operations. Look at this from last night in North Minneapolis, where emotions erupted when a federal agent shot a man in the leg while making...
No, he legitimately has family, friends, connections in Mexico. It would take you for a really good time.
Demonstrators, snowballs being thrown, and we heard a lot of whistles blowing and people yelling. Law enforcement responded with tear gas and rubber bullets. We saw people taken away in handcuffs, but we have not been able to confirm.
Insanity.
Arrests were made in North Minneapolis last night. Homeland Security says agents were trying to arrest this man, Julio Cesar Sosa Solis. They say he took off after an attempted traffic stop, crashed near North 24th Avenue and 6th Street, then tried to run away. DHS says a scuffle ensued involving the agent, Sosa
rubber-coated steel bullets
from a nearby apartment building. That's when the agent fired, striking Sosa Solis in the leg. Reporter Brittany Ehrman was there last night to witness all of it, and she returned today and talked with neighbors.
I really can't, Textillion.
I was told by several neighbors this is the house where the shooting happened.
I keep having ex-best friends, so what does that say about me?
Scared, she does not feel safe, even though she's here legally.
This Facebook Live video shared by Minnesota State Senator Aaron.
Yeah, you would OT minus. Like, you gotta take a load. If you've ever seen Jay and Silent Bob, George Carlin's character in Jay and Silent Bob.
Quaid is giving more insight into what happened moments before the shooting. The video shows intense moments inside this home as a woman is on the phone with 911. In the video, you can hear the woman tell the dispatcher in Spanish her husband was being chased by ICE for a half hour and ICE agents hit her husband's vehicle. Then, when he made it home and ran inside, she alleges ICE shot him through the door, hitting the man in the leg. Luisa Ramirez lives right next door. She told me she's grateful she wasn't at home when it happened, but she rents a room to a young man who witnessed the commotion.
Pero nos contó un chico al que le tenemos rentada un cuarto, dice que fue feo, que habían tiros, bombas de gas, estaba feo.
The Department of Homeland Security telling us a different story, claiming everything took place outside. Federal officials say a man and a federal agent got into a struggle on the ground, and while that was happening, two people came out of a nearby apartment and started attacking the agent with a shovel and a broom handle. Homeland Security said in a statement the officer feared for his safety and fired a defensive shot hitting the man in the leg. Ramirez telling us her North Minneapolis neighborhood no longer feels safe.
¿Cómo te sientes en este momento?
Nos sentimos desubicados, aburridos, tristes. Nos sentimos desesperados. Es lo único que podemos decir.
We're working to get that 911 transcript you just heard.
If we're not friends, it's because of you, Dolly.
More information about that woman's story. Also asking questions about why this door behind me is boarded up. A lot of conflicting stories, but we're working to get answers. Live in Minneapolis, Brittany Ehrman, 5 Eyewitness News.
I was trying to be funny. I don't know what you talk about trying to be. You were the one trying to be smart. Telling us how you're better than everybody, you're better looking than everybody, you got a bigger dick than everybody, that you're too good for all the women out here dressing like whores. Like, you don't see your own arrogance. It's wild. But we're still friends. I want to be his friend. I'm not jumping to any conclusion. It's literally what you said. I went back and played the whole fucking thing. I did not ask you about my appearance. You invoked my appearance and said that you were, if I was a 10, you're a 20. I don't know what you mean dressing like a slut. I didn't call you ugly. We just watched the whole video. I didn't call you ugly not once. Are you gonna make me watch it again? You called me ugly. Yes, I said you couldn't get any of the women you're talking about. Absolutely. They wouldn't give you the time of day in any way, shape, of... That's not calling you ugly. I made no comment about your appearance. And I even went on to say that women find me attractive because of my confidence and my talent. So, like, are you lying about me on purpose? Ooh, here's Soup. Soup, I love you. You handsome man. This kid, Dolly effing Parton, called me ugly earlier. And now is accusing me of calling them ugly. It's insanity. Made no comment about their appearance. Now, I do believe that they are an ugly person from the chat, but I mean, I'm kind of an ugly person too. I make fun of people's appearances and shit. Brother, any woman that is confident enough to show her ass in public wouldn't have a thing to do with you. That's what I'm trying to say. And like, I don't know why is it a personal offense to you how a woman dresses? Because I see it as none of my goddamn business. And that is a red flag to women, or any partner for that matter, because it seems like you want to be controlling of them. Clinically, I love you, friend. Welcome in. A bunch of fives arguing with themselves. Yeah, people, how they dress has no correlation to their promiscuity. I'm a fucking whore. So, Krell, good evening. I don't think you do have plenty of options, because you would have to have a woman that would be willing to settle for you. Single guy says he has options. I didn't say you're ugly. You're sure acting ugly in my chat though, brother. Come back to the Discord and talk to me. You're the one who brought up looks. We can totally get off looks. Let's talk some politics. I do a political debate show. Come on. Hop back in my Discord. You're accusing me of not being able to stay on a subject, but once again, you're the one who decided to bring my looks into the debate. The debate. Yes, you did. I just went back and played the video. The very first person to talk about appearance was you saying that if I'm a 10, you're a 20. I played you the video. We all just heard it. Don't make me play it again, because it's not good content at this point. Yes, and that had nothing to do with your appearance. Not a goddamn thing in the world to do with your appearance. That has everything to do with the person that you are. It does matter what I mean. I'm not being ignorant, goddammit. Like, if you misconstrued me but out of your ignorance, that's a you thing. Not only have I won multiple debates, I have one right wingers over. There are multiple videos on my channel. So, and people call me a reasonable guy, telling me that I make a lot of sense. Brother, here. Do you want me to pull up a video? I got it on my YouTube. Dude praises me. Say I make a lot of sense. I made a lot of great points. I was very respectful to him. I don't appreciate you saying these things that are false about me. It seems like a lot of projection on your part. Thought I had it at the top of my list. I apparently don't. Right-wing caller gets woke on stream. There we go. I mean, don't make comments you can't back up, my friend. Oh, now you're gonna run away. Here's proof. Dude thought I looked dumb.
What do you think about showing your ID when you vote?
Why? Why would you do that?
It demonstrates you're a true American citizen and that you have a right to vote.
How the f did you register to vote if you're not an American citizen?
I heard there was quite a few dead people that voted the last.
That's true. They were legally registered to vote and alive when early voting started.
I was curious to see what your reaction to it would really be.
And boy, did I not fall for your bait, did I?
You did, man.
Internet grifters, people like Tim Pool, they're not doing journalism. They're telling their audience what they want to hear. Because the more they confirm their audience's biases, the more money they make.
You know, man, you make sense.
What I do?
You're a far more complex dude than you look like on the screen right here.
What in the f does that mean?
You got a scruffy beard, you're pulling out a bog or whatever. There's a lot more brains behind that image.
So there you go, man. Like, did I won a right winger over? Said I got a lot more brains. Can you stand toe to toe with me? You gonna get in the Discord, or did you already run away? Let's do the news and let's get the fuck out of here. Clinically, did you ask how the debate was? Not as wild as I thought it would be. I kind of thought it had its moments of batshittery. But I thought it would be a little bit more. It was the best troll in like a decade. They brought up Ilhan Omar a lot during the debate. Also, I don't think it got a lot of batshittery in because, like, each answer was only a minute because there was 10 of them. But it had its moments. They brought up Ilhan Omar multiple times, and this is one of the reasons why I think Ilhan Omar is a fucking badass.
Congresswoman, Republicans have repeatedly stated that you committed immigration fraud. Are you at all worried about a formal investigation that could perhaps lead to your deportation?
Well, you're one of those people.
I don't know what that means, but are you at all concerned?
Do I look concerned?
I guess not. Okay. What about the Minnesota fraud hearing? You didn't show up for that. Do you think you should have?
Why should I have?
Well, it happened in your state. Don't you want to defend your position?
There were people from my state that were there.
Okay, but why not you? I mean, there's allegations that you're complicit in the fraud. Wouldn't you want to show up to
Why would
defend
there be
yourself?
an allegation that I'm complicit? How would I be complicit?
Well, what about Tim
Do
Walz?
you just ask stupid questions? Is this your thing?
I'm curious to get your thoughts. I mean, there's a lot of controversy around the issue. $9 billion in fraud in the state of Minnesota.
$9 billion!
You don't think so?
Really?
Yeah, and counting. Probably more, honestly. You think that's fake news or what?
That is more than half of the resources that are allocated.
Okay.
So you genuinely, like, your brain has told you that it is possible for half of the resources.
I'm just going off of what
for
the...
our public service to, like, half disappear is what you're
Say it.
Countless Minnesota state representatives, whistleblowers have come
listen
forward.
to yourself, though.
I'm
Like,
trying.
just think about that for a second.
Maybe if you showed up at the hearing, you would
Just-
know that
just think
whistleblowers
about
are
that
being
for a second.
retaliated against for exposing the fraud. Why is that? Why are they being
But
tracked?
just
and traced?
think about what you're asking. Who is tracing whistleblowers?
Minnesota state officials, Tim Walz, anyone who dares to speak out against the government.
Tim Walz is doing something to
Yeah,
whistleblowers?
why is Tim Walz stepping down if he's, innocent? Why isn't he running for re-election?
Because he's had 8 years to serve as our great governor.
He was going to be vice president of the United States if Campbell won.
And he would have been an excellent vice
But
president.
now he's stepping
much
down.
better than the person we have right now.
And now he's stepping down as governor. Any comment on that? You don't think he's maybe complicit?
He is focusing on trying to make sure our state remains great. All right, have a nice day.
Thank you, you too.
Please read.
Please read. That was the last thing she said to her. Please read. Dolly, that's the last thing I'm saying to you. Turn off the YouTube. Please read. The chat will be happy to give you suggestions. I will give you suggestions. I always, with most people, I will start off with the People's History of the United States. That's a good jumping off point. Because if we have an informed electorate, we don't have bullshit like this going on. Trump is threatening to invoke the Insurrection Act.
Between our state and federal government over the largest ICE operation in American history gets wider by the hour. After a second shooting by federal agents last night, followed by clashes with observers and protesters that got unruly. President Trump is threatening to send in the military now via the Insurrection Act. So what does that really mean, and what could history tell us about it? Hey, Ken.
Hey, Janum. If President Trump invokes the Insurrection Act, he would not be the first president to do so. But legal scholars say it's
the first one since the fucking Civil War,
like the one we're living in. The Insurrection Act gives the president broad power to deploy the military.
Did we do it in the Civil Rights Movement?
States to suppress a rebellion or to enforce the law in a state that opposes or obstructs.
We did it to desegregate the schools, didn't we?
It was last invoked in 1992 after riots broke out in Los Angeles following the acquittal of 4 white police officers in the beating death of Rodney King. But in that and nearly every other case, the military was requested by the state. The last time it happened against the wishes of the state was during the 1965 Civil Rights March from Selma to Montgomery, Alabama. But the military was there to protect the constitutional rights of citizens. That makes it very different than the situation unfolding in Minnesota, meaning we are in uncharted legal waters.
The key to all of this is that because the insurrection clause hasn't really ever been interpreted by courts of law, and that then gives this current president wide latitude to say, this is an insurrection, I want to invoke this act.
If the Insurrection Act is invoked, can the troops coming in do more than they could on the ground, say, in California this summer, where they could just only kind of like protect buildings and things?
That's absolutely right. And they will absolutely be able to go in and put down even nonviolent protests. If ICE is making the argument that those nonviolent protests are impeding their ability to get their job done, then if the insurrection clause is enacted, the assumption would be that the military or the militia could come in and make sure that people are not out on the streets protesting at all.
The president has certainly threatened to use it several times already, but he hasn't. Why do you think that is? And do you think that this time might be any different?
So I would suspect that the president is getting advice from military advisors who say, if you take that next step, that is another step towards what could be martial law, whether that's in one particular city, one particular state, or the entire United States. And that's not a road a president wants to go down. The reason this might be different is that every single time the administration is ratcheting up how many ICE agents are surrounding the greater Twin Cities area, as well as the entire state of Minnesota, the other side, the protesters and those who are watching ICE are ratcheting up their game as well. And I don't mean that they're ratcheting up their game by causing violence or trying to harm ICE agents. The protests are just growing larger. And so it's almost this game of chicken. And if that game of chicken goes far enough, I could see that this might be the time the president would really invoke that clause.
Now, if he does invoke it, we already know the courts will be asked to get involved. Today, Attorney General Keith Ellison said he is prepared to challenge it in court. Jana.
Well, that then raises the obvious question, Kent, about the prospects of a case like that. I know you talked about that, and we can talk about the results of that question when we come back.
Let's keep it in Minneapolis. Let's talk about ICE detaining indigenous individuals, apparently not letting them go, despite the fact that they are indigenous.
Tonight, some of Minnesota's tribal chairpersons are taking unprecedented action to prevent federal agents from entering reservations. This is happening as community members say ICE was unlawfully detaining 4 Native American men. One has since been released. Jennifer Hoff met with leaders who say they're providing security and conducting patrols to keep their people safe.
Community can often provide comfort in crisis, but Wambly Olatapi is also responding
to stand with them, unite.
To a growing resistance, he says, against ICE agents in Minneapolis.
That's why we're here, because they can't do that.
A member of the American Indian movement, Olatapi is from the Pine Ridge Reservation in South Dakota, one of several tribes here providing patrols and security.
It's all a big scare tactic. It's a big bully system right now. And they're trying to scare the people into doing what they want.
It comes after the community reported agents recently detained 4 homeless Oglala Sioux members near this East Franklin Bridge. And no one knows where they are still, including Minnesota Senator Mary Kunesh, a member of the Native American Caucus.
We're kind of at a standstill with DHS.
The state has 11 federally recognized tribes, and detaining enrolled members is unlawful and violates binding treaties, according to Leech Lake Tribal Chairman Farron Jackson.
It kind of seems really appalling and kind of somewhat backwards if you're going to call any indigenous person from any tribe, an immigrant. We consider ourselves the first people.
The Mille Lacs Band of Ojibwe chairman even issued this new executive order requiring ICE consult with the band's government before entering or operating on tribal land.
I'm not against checking immigration status, but we have to do it in a more civil and humane manner.
That chaos playing out just blocks away from where people are gathering donations. Police tape surrounding a scene Jane Malafont knows all too well.
I am sick to my stomach of what is happening.
Just trying to deliver food, Malafont says it's not uncommon for unmarked vehicles to follow her into what she says are vulnerable communities, as any kind of law enforcement only adds to the uncertainty.
There was no way to differentiate who was there, who was watching. Nothing was clear at all.
Left to rely on one another, hoping history doesn't repeat itself.
We don't belong anywhere else but here.
Now, we sent multiple emails to the Department of Homeland Security asking about the men who are reportedly detained. DHS did not respond to us in particular, but in a statement to the Washington Post has said that it has no record of those tribal members. Senator Kunesh reminding Indigenous people right now to be wearing their tribal ID at all times and to be sure, Janet, that they're also carrying their enrollment papers.
Just the fact that, as that man said, talking about Native Americans having to wear ID, it doesn't make sense in the head.
And usually they wear them in their wallets like we would a driver's license. Okay. But in this case now, many of them are wearing them on lanyards across their neck to make sure that they are there and visible.
Michael, welcome in.
Thanks, Jennifer.
Let's cover a few more stories, and then I'm going to say goodbye to YouTube and the podcast, and then we're going to watch a police chase. There were 2 different police chases happening since we've been on the stream, so we're going to watch those chases.
The latest fallout amid the unrest in Iran. Today, the Treasury Department announcing new sanctions against what it called the architects.
Yeah, buckle up, boys. We're going to Iran now. Apparently, we are absolutely invading Iran any day.
their crackdown, saying that the administration stands with the Iranian people's calls for freedom and justice. A U.S.-based human rights activist news agency estimates more than 2,600 people have been killed in the weeks-long.
We have moved battleships into the Middle East now, away from the Caribbean.
Yesterday, the president said he'd been informed that the killings had suddenly stopped, although he was vague about where he got this information. Today, the White House saying the regime halted the execution of several hundred protesters.
The president received a message, as he revealed to all of you and the whole world yesterday, that the killing and the executions will stop. And the president understands today that 800 executions
Something's up, because I feel like Trump would like that.
take place yesterday were halted. And so the president and his team are closely monitoring this situation, and all options remain on the table.
During a brief phone call this morning, I asked the president about whether he decided to take action in Iran. The president telling me, quote, "I'm not going to tell you that," but added, "We saved a lot of lives yesterday." Joining me now is Mike Froman, president of the Council on Foreign Relations. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. I do want to dive in and start with Iran. Yesterday, the president appearing to back down from possible military action. But one of the president's staunchest allies, Senator Lindsey Graham, posting this on social media, quote, "Every indication that I've seen says the Iranian regime's killing of protesters is still very much in full swing. The death toll is mounting by the hour, hoping that help is on the way." What do you think an effective response would look like at this point?
Well, first of all, we should note that we don't have a lot of good direct information about what's going on the ground there. There's been a total blackout. The news, there are very few journalists on the ground. The internet is down. And so we're all sort of looking for more accurate information. It's possible that the regime canceled some scheduled public hangings, but there could well be killings still going on the street of protesters, as Senator Graham said. Look, I think in terms of the response, the president has said we're locked and loaded and help is on its way. That's pretty far out there on a limb. Now, if the quid pro quo is no public executions and therefore I won't do anything, then he can say he's achieved victory. If he wants something more to support the protesters, though, in their efforts, then there's got to be something more. He's announced tariffs against countries that are trading with Iran, but there's a lot of uncertainty about how those tariffs are going to be implemented. There's efforts to potentially put Starlink and other capacity back up and running. And the real question is, on the military side, what can be done? And we know that there's been consideration of various options. Right now, there's no carrier strike group in the region, but one is heading there from the Indo-Pacific. And evidently, the White House is considering various military options and other non-kinetic options, cyber and other options. But it could be about attacking the intelligence agencies, the Revolutionary Guard, the munitions. It could be attacking command and control. It's really about whether you want to deter Iranian action or whether you want to prevent them from being able to crack down on the protesters. And clearly, the options are still being developed.
What?
A week after Trump's secret police force murdered a U.S. citizen, Marie Kondo presented her Nobel Peace Prize to Donald Trump.
Miss Machado, how was your meeting?
Miss Machado, how was your meeting? How was your meeting with the president?
Very well.
Did you give him the Nobel Peace Prize?
It does not spark joy, Textilian.
Gracias por venir. Gracias por estar aquí.
Te amamos, todo el pueblo venezolano está contigo. Todo el pueblo venezolano está contigo.
Qué bueno verte.
Todos estábamos esperando del otro lado. Qué bueno que vinimos para acá.
What do they call a cuctress? What a cuctress she is.
Y a todos nosotros que estamos luchando aquí en Venezuela y vamos a seguir luchando por recuperar nuestro país.
Contamos con el presidente Trump para la libertad. Thank you, Trump.
Fuerza.
So she apparently said it like in Spanish to the people there. That's our confirmation that she gave Trump the prize, apparently. Has the White House come out and confirmed it? I'm sure he posted on Truth Social about it.
Venezuela's opposition leader presented the Nobel Peace Prize to President Trump. What that means isn't exactly clear at this hour, but we do know that the president so far has not been swayed by her overtures. He is sticking with Nicolas Maduro's VP to lead the country. So what's next for Venezuela? We're live at the White House. Also, in just the past few minutes, I'm going to sit down with Jeffrey Epstein abuse survivor, why she says what falls on the ground says she has presented her
music
Nobel
was
Peace
killing
Prize
me
to President Trump, as the White House says it is sticking by the country's current leader. So we're talking about Maria Corina Machado. She just left the Capitol in just the last few hours, a total scramble there. You'll recall the Nobel is the prize that President Trump said he should have received. Hours after the raid leading to the capture of Venezuela's President Nicolas Maduro, Mr. Trump called Machado a very nice woman who lacked respect. A senior White House official tells our team that his view has not changed. That isn't how a bipartisan group of senators who met with Machado seemed to feel today.
So for the president to say she wasn't respected enough, something else is going on.
It's Tim Walz.
Exactly.
Oh, I mean Tim Kaine.
She has to respect.
Other dude that was vice presidential candidate.
Trump's got a plan of how to transition where we don't have civil unrest, and so I hope that it works.
That's Saturday Night Live skit where they asked the dude to name because he was all excited about Tim Walz, and they asked him, and it was fucking what's his name? Fucking hilarious comedian. John Mulvaney. They asked him who the 2016 presidential candidate was, and he couldn't name him. They brought Tim Kaine out. It was like, well, he wasn't memorable like Tim Walz. It's like, he looks exactly like Tim Walz. Apparently, there's more sports betting fixing shit going on.
More than 24 people were charged in an alleged scheme to rig college and Chinese professional basketball games.
Yeah, they say the scheme ended up landing people massive payouts amid tens of thousands of dollars in bribes. According to the indictment, so-called fixers recruited players and then paid them bribes ranging from $10,000 to $30,000 per game to give intentionally poor performances.
Now, the charges include bribery in sporting contest and conspiracy to commit wire fraud. Prosecutors say this scheme happened between September 2022 to February of 2023.
We allege an extensive international criminal conspiracy of NCAA players, alumni, and professional bettors who fixed games across the country and poisoned the American spirit of competition for monetary gain.
Bribery charges carry a maximum sentence of 5 years in prison, and the fraud charges carry a maximum of up to 20 years.
The rise in sports betting and gambling debt has hit college-age people the hardest. The NCAA says nearly 60% of 22-year-olds surveyed said they've placed at least one sports bet. They also found this age group tends to bet more often and place higher bets. Sports betting in Kentucky has only been legal since 2023. If you or someone you know is addicted to gambling, you can call 1-800-GAMBLER for help.
Four, 2, 6, 2, 5, 3, 7.
Thank you for calling the New York State Office of Addiction Services and Support's confidential Hope line. If this is an emergency, please hang up and dial 911. If you need assistance with lottery results, please visit www.ny.nylottery.ny.gov or call 518-388-3300. This is not a lottery results line. If you're looking for support related to substance use, please press 1. If you're looking for support related to gambling harms, please press 2. If you are looking for peer support from a certified recovery peer advocate, please press 3. Someone will be with you.
You have reached the New York State Problem Gambling and Chemical Dependency Helpline. If this is an emergency, please hang up and call 911. Currently, our certified recovery peer advocates are unavailable. If you wish to speak to a referral specialist for help with problem gambling, alcoholism, or substance abuse, please stay on the line.
Calls are recorded for quality assurance.
Thank you for calling the New York State Problem Gambling and Chemical Dependency Helpline. How can I help you?
He said, son, I've made a life out of reading people's faces and knowing what their cards were by the way they held their eyes. So if you don't mind me saying, I can see you're all out of aces. For a taste of your whiskey,
Hello?
I'll give you some advice.
Hello?
So I handed him my bottle, and he drank down my last swallow. And he bummed a cigarette.
Hello?
And asked me for a light. And the night got deathly quiet. And his face lost all expression. He said, if you're gonna play the game, boy,
Hello?
you gotta learn to play it right. You gotta know when to hold 'em. Know when to fold 'em. Know when to walk away. Know when to run. You never count your money. I'm horrible. I didn't think I'd get a real person. I thought I was going to sing to the answering machine. I don't think she knew the song, and I was butchering it. You would be forgiven if you did not know what the fuck I was singing. I kinda got it once I got to the drink of whiskey. I'm horrible about that. I'll sing a song to Curiouser. And I'll be like, well, you'd know it if I didn't just butcher it. Since we're talking about Sporty Ball, this is Stephen A. Smith from a couple of days ago with an epic fail.
That's what we saw. We saw Charlie Kirk catch 8 receptions for 144 yards.
Yeah.
We saw
Christian Kirk.
I'm sorry, I apologize. Oh my God, Christian Kirk.
Yeah.
We saw. That's what we saw. We saw Charlie Kirk catch 8 receptions for 144 yards.
Yeah.
We saw
Christian Kirk.
I'm sorry, I apologize.
You live in sexual anarchy.
We saw. That's what we saw. We saw Charlie Kirk catch 8 receptions for 144 yards.
Yeah.
We saw
Charlie Kirk totally caught something at about 144 yards. Yep.
Christian Kirk.
Yeah.
We saw. That's what we saw. We saw Charlie Kirk catch 8 receptions for 144 yards.
Yeah.
We saw
Christian Kirk.
I'm sorry, I apologize. Oh my God, Christian Kirk.
Yeah.
It was too soon. Light one up for Charlie Kirk. We have been following the saga of the bear under the home in Altadena. A second bear is on the scene. Is it a second bear? Is it the original bear? Is there 2 bears? Are there two bears?
Well, it's happened again. A bear has made itself comfortable under a home.
Two bears?
And shows no signs of leaving anytime soon.
And it is unclear if this is the same bear that was living under a home in the same neighborhood and stayed.
Two bears?
KTLA 5's Kimberly Chang live in Altadena with some details for us. Hi, Kimberly.
Hi, yes, an Altadena resident called KTLA and told us that his family discovered a bear underneath their home. Take a look at this video.
Where did he go?
Video shows a bear tucked away in a back.
I had this 70-year-old dude message me and be like, "Do you like older bears?" Sent me several pictures of his dick, and I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I'm into that.
Asked us not to reveal their address.
Hasn't messaged me back yet.
This is a neighborhood near Altadena and Midwick Drives. This is less than half a mile from a home that you may remember.
Go, 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 go. Go, he's out, he's out, he's out. Go, go.
This bear, believed to be about 500 pounds, moved into a crawl space underneath a house on Altadena Drive around Thanksgiving. Now, the homeowner and state wildlife officials, as you may remember, tried to lure the bear out for weeks using various methods, including
no message,
paintball guns, and scents, but the efforts were unsuccessful. The homeowner said the bear caused some damage around a gas line under his home. Now, the homeowner...
Oh, yeah, he's a big old boy.
Christmas that a nonprofit called Bear League from Northern California offered to help. They used paintball guns to chase the bear away, and the homeowner put an electrified mat over the opening, and when the bear tried to return to the crawl space, the small shock scared it away. It's not clear if this is the same bear that was found underneath this home recently. We spoke with an Altadena resident who said years ago she came face to face with a bear on her property.
You need to close up the crawl space. What are you going to do? Grab the bear and tell them to get out? I mean, they're gigantic and they're very strong.
That's Deborah Wilson. She said that she has been following the story after hearing about the bear underneath that home for weeks. Her family closed up the crawl space underneath their home, and she says that is necessary in this area where wildlife sightings are common.
You know, we have a problem with it. We had some coyotes took residence in a crawl space a few blocks over and had litters for a couple of years. That was their home, you know. So if the bear doesn't get you something well, so you better close up best you can.
Now, as far as this most recent bear sighting, we have reached out to the California Department of Fish and Wildlife. A spokesperson told me that he is looking into it and will get back to us with more information, and we will, of course, bring that to you. For now, reporting live here in Altadena, Kimberly Chang, KTLA 5 News.
All right.
Did somebody get the auto mod? I don't see it. Okay, guys, I am going to blow you away. I can't prepare you for what you're getting ready to see. Not this old fuck, not him, no. I would love to blow you. I'm gonna blow you away with cuteness. Are you prepared for cuteness overload?
Zoo Knoxville introducing a new arrival, a three-legged red panda named Kiana. She was born at the Oklahoma City Zoo, suffering from a birth deformity in her left hind leg, which was later amputated. The 6-year-old red panda ready to make her public debut and will, we understand, be out this weekend. Zoo Knoxville introducing a new arrival, a three-legged red panda named Kiana. She was born at the Oklahoma City Zoo, suffering from
Born at the Oklahoma City Zoo, who sent her over to the Knoxville Zoo.
A birth deformity in her left hind leg, which was later amputated.
Look at that fucking face.
The 6-year-old red panda ready to make her public debut and will, we understand, be out this weekend. Zoo Knoxville.
Kiana. This is our new friend Kiana. Oh my god. Twitch people, stick with me. Twitch people, stick with me. We're gonna watch police chases. Just happened in the last couple of hours. Listen to some music. YouTube people, podcast people, light one up, tip one back. It's alright to have a little fun, but we're at the sack. I'm JustinFREAKIN. We'll see you Sunday night on the Troll Patrol, live. I'll probably be on over the weekend. Saturday's probably gonna be fucking popping in Minnesota. I think it's doing the thing where I can go turn YouTube off manually. Been doing that to me a lot lately. So these happened just a few minutes ago or within the last couple of hours in Los Angeles.